This page is the vibrant cover of a magazine likely focused on games, prominently featuring the large number 64 and the title Rokuyon, suggesting a focus on the Nintendo 64 platform, which was launching around this time. The cover announces the first wave of N64 software, specifically highlighting landmark titles like Super Mario 64 and Pilotwings 64, alongside Strongest Habushogi. The magazine also dedicates a significant feature to World Advanced Great Strategy Operation File for the Sega Saturn, promising detailed map and campaign mode explanations. Other major games covered include Derby Stallion 96 and Super Mario RPG for the Super Famicom, with guides for both catering to different player levels. There's also a feature on the highly anticipated Final Fantasy V2 for the PlayStation. The Quality Assurance Masterpiece Software Best 5 section highlights critically acclaimed titles from various platforms, including Suikoden, PS, and Tales of Phantasia, SFC. The cover features a distinct polygonal robot character and a dramatic fiery background, hinting at the diverse range of games covered. The magazine is positioned as a greedy game comprehensive magazine, suggesting a broad appeal to different gaming tastes, released bi-weekly for 390 yen. The next page is a Sega Saturn advert for Edie and Dissy, Cubic Gallery, an art edutainment game featuring famous paintings in a 3D world, and a bonus ticket with initial copies. Fumimaga 64 Volume 007, released April 5, 1996, features a comprehensive guide to the Sega Saturn's World Advanced Strategy, along with coverage of upcoming 64 titles like Super Mario 64 and Pilotwings 64. Other articles detail Final Fantasy V2, Super Famicom games, and a buyer's guide. The magazine also includes strategy columns, a Dragon Quest journal, and rumors about upcoming games like Fire Emblems, Genealogy of the Holy War, and Wild Arms. The next issue is slated for April 19th. This page covers the latest Sega Saturn news and topics from April/May 1996. The big news is the launch of a new Sega Saturn model, priced at 20,000 yen, excluding tax. Released on March 22nd, this revised console, pictured on the page, is the result of streamlining the hardware, maintaining the same performance and specs as the original model, but at a lower cost, aiming to make it more accessible. Simultaneously with the new hardware release, a campaign titled Ochikazuki Hen began, offering a special demo version of Flash Sega Saturn to purchasers. This demo includes a trial version of the latest game in the critically acclaimed Victory Goal series, Victory Goal 96, and a demo movie of the currently popular arcade 3D robot battle game, Virtualon, Cyber Troopers, among other content to help players decide on their next purchase. A screenshot shows the title screen for Flash Sega Saturn Ochikazuki Hen. Additionally, Sega is bringing classic arcade hits to the Saturn under the Sega Ages series. The first wave, due in May, includes minigame collections like Tanter and Ichidanter. Future releases are scheduled, featuring legendary titles such as Space Harrier, August, Afterburner, October, and Outrun, November. A screenshot of the arcade version of Outrun is shown, highlighting the revival of these fan favorites on the Saturn. The article notes that the Sega Ages titles will support analog devices and the multi-terminal 6. This 1996 advertisement highlights PlayStation and Super Famicom promotions. PlayStation's Fighting Box bundle, including a console, controllers, and memory card, launches March 28 for 24,800 yen, a discounted price. The first 200,000 buyers of the bundle get a t-shirt. A demo CD for Jumping Flash 2 is available at Tokyo Big Sight March 27-28. Separately, Square Enix, through Digicube, will sell PlayStation games at convenience stores starting in November, featuring Final Fantasy Version 2. Finally, a Mystery Dungeon 2. Shuren the Wanderer campaign on Super Famicom encourages players to submit dungeon clearing photos for prizes, including a Nintendo 64 coupon and plush toy. This page features a big present giveaway. 100 winners receive a Nintendo 64 on release day, and 5 win a PlayStation. Apply by April 5th via postcard. This page showcases the 10th installment of the NT Big Present Giveaway, proudly announcing a cumulative total of 1,000 winners across the campaign. Featured prizes include a Sega Saturn console for 5 lucky winners, Dragon Quest Vi pin badges featuring various popular monsters, and the Hero with 5 sets of each design up for grabs, and copies of the Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko novel series Tokyo Dungeon for 5 winners. Other prizes include a hand crank radio for 3 winners, and collectible Shonen Gangan telephone cards for 5 winners. Gamers can also win Evangelion for the Sega Saturn, 5 copies, the fast-paced puzzle game Magical Drop for PlayStation, 3 copies, and the baseball title Super Famista 5 for Sega Saturn, 5 copies. The deadline to apply by postmark is April 5th, and the winners for this round will be announced in the May 31st issue of the magazine, which goes on sale May 17th. This page is dedicated to generating excitement for the upcoming Final Fantasy Version 2. It proudly announces that this is the 3rd update on the highly anticipated game, promising desired details on Chocobos and the summoned Bahamut, along with numerous new locations. The page confirms the game is being developed by Square for the PlayStation, with a planned release in December at a price of 5,800 yen for a 2 Candelas set. It details the standard FF mount and new character appearance, discussing the beloved Chocobo, stating its origins can be traced back to the forests south of Kashun in Final Fantasy II, and hints at its increased importance in the series. It also mentions a new character, described as a cat-like beast, appearing for the first time. Dedicated sections showcase the low-polygon field models for movement. We see Field Use Cloud, noting his familiar appearance for overworld travel, and Field Use Aerith, depicted without her staff and shown in a scene that might be her first encounter with Cloud. The page encourages readers to pay close attention to these character models during movement. Finally, a section focuses solely on the Chocobo, featuring both illustrations and 3D models, commenting on their expected appearance in the game. This page continues the Final Fantasy V2 coverage, focusing on key gameplay elements and a prominent new character. It highlights the sheer scale of the summoned Bahamut in battle, describing it as a colossal beast that dwarfs enemies. The text notes, this is a prototype look at the summon sequence, where Bahamut appears after the party seemingly shifts dimensions. We also get a first look at some enemies you'll encounter, including a strange red monster, a suspicious frog-like creature, and a peculiar red crab-like artificial being. Finally, the page introduces the previously hinted Ide cat-like beast character, Red X2I. Described as having a fierce yet intelligent look, he is confirmed as a party member, not just a pet. There's speculation about his ability to speak, though the text notes his communication is unclear. Various 3D models and design sketches are shown, giving different perspectives on this intriguing new ally. This page continues the Final Fantasy V2 coverage, showcasing key locations rendered in stunning detail. We get a look inside a shop, noting that even interiors are fully rendered in 3Ds. The article explains that despite the detailed graphics, the traditional menu system for item selection was chosen for clarity, preventing confusion when dealing with small items like rings. Next up is Rocket Town, dominated by a large, tilted rocket. Described as appearing weathered and old, the text speculates whether it's a relic of an ancient civilization or a more recent attempt at space travel. A familiar-looking chain restaurant can also be seen in the village. Finally, we see the mysterious altar, a strange structure seemingly floating in water. The images show the detailed environment and figures near the altar. The article ponders its purpose and design, noting the difficulty in navigating the area. This page continues the Final Fantasy V2 coverage, showing off more impressive locations. First up is the Mako reactor and core, depicted with intricate pipes and structures. The screenshots highlight a much clearer rendering compared to previous visuals, enveloped in a faint green mist. The article mentions a core resembling an atomic pile, deepening the mystery of the Mako reactor. It also shows Cloud running through a passage near the core, speculating whether it's radioactive or something even more dangerous. Next, we see the cave area, showcasing detailed graphics. The text explains that the cave is comprised of numerous screens, emphasizing the scale and depth. Screenshots show the environment and characters, noting the improvement in character movement and camera angles, making the cave exploration feel more immersive. A separate section discusses Square's first PlayStation software title. It mentions that while Final Fantasy V2 was announced alongside Square's entry into the PlayStation platform, it won't be the first title released. Several other titles are expected before FFV2's projected December release, comparing them in scope to games like Treasure Hunter Beg and Rudra no Hi-How on Super Famicom, suggesting high expectations. The article assures readers that despite the wait, Square will deliver impressive software. Finally, a bottom section covers news about game industry developments. It highlights the delay of the Nintendo 64 release and Square's decision to shift focus to the PlayStation platform, discussing the challenges Nintendo faced and Square's move as a significant event. This page provides a special report on the Nintendo 64 console, detailing the postponement of its release date. Initially set for April 21st, the launch is now pushed back to June 23rd. The article explains that this delay, announced by Nintendo on March 8th alongside the reveal of the 3 launch software titles, has valid reasons. Nintendo cites 2 main factors: delays in hardware production, aiming for around 500,000 units for launch, and the need for more development time on key launch software, specifically mentioning Super Mario 64. The report highlights Nintendo's stance, echoed by figures like Miyamoto, that software should not be released until the company is fully satisfied with its quality. The article frames the delay positively, suggesting that the extra time will result in a better product for consumers, making the roughly 2-month wait acceptable. The page also prominently displays the console's price of 25,000 yen. Despite the delay, the article concludes that expectations for the N64 are only growing. This page focuses on the Nintendo 64's launch software lineup, confirming the 3 titles that will be available on release day, June 23rd: Super Mario 64, Pilotwings 64, and Saikyo Habushogi. The page prominently displays that all 3 launch titles will be priced at 9,800 yen. Super Mario 64 is highlighted as the flagship action game, a completely 3D evolution of the iconic series, while Pilotwings 64 promises a realistic flight simulation experience with fully polygon-rendered environments. Saikyo Habushogi, a shogi, Japanese chess, game named after a famous professional player, rounds out the initial offering, indicating a diverse approach to the launch. The article also provides a glimpse into the future N64 library, showcasing screenshots and temporary titles for numerous other games previewed at Space World 95, including highly anticipated titles like The Legend of Zelda 64, Wave Race 64, Star Fox 64, and third-party support from titles like Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, and GoldenEye 007. While release dates for these other titles remain unconfirmed, the page clearly aims to build excitement for the console's potential lineup beyond the initial 3. This page is a special report focusing on how fans can get their hands on a Nintendo 64. The major headline announces that reservations will begin on April 21st. The article stresses the importance of reserving the console to ensure you can get one on the launch day, June 23rd, anticipating potential shortages. It paints a picture of wanting to avoid the frustration of seeing friends who did reserve, playing games like Super Mario 64 while you wait. Another significant piece of news highlighted is that in-store demos for the Nintendo 64 will start nationwide at Nintendo Entertainment Shops from June 1st. This provides an opportunity for people to experience the console and its unique controller, particularly the 3D analog stick, firsthand before making a purchase. The report encourages those who missed seeing the N64 at events like Space World 95 to definitely check out these demos. Essentially, the page provides key dates and advice for fans to secure their console and get a preview before the official release. This page is the Nintendo 64 Hot Zone, filled with the latest information. The top story is the exciting news that a sequel to the beloved Super Mario RPG from the Super Famicom is planned for the Nintendo 64. It's expected to fully utilize the N64's advanced graphics and sound capabilities, promising an incredible experience. Nintendo is actively recruiting developers for this highly anticipated title. Below that, a campaign for the Mystery Dungeon series is highlighted, specifically for fans of Mystery Dungeon 2. Shirin the Wanderer. By participating in the Dungeon Kaikan campaign, players have a chance to win Nintendo 64-related prizes. The most enticing prize, for those who clear the game's hidden dungeon, is a 10,000 yen discount coupon for the Nintendo 64 console itself, offering a great incentive tied to the upcoming launch. Other prizes include a Shirin plush toy and a game entry ticket. The page includes screenshots from both Super Mario RPG and Shirin the Wanderer, along with images of the campaign prizes and the N64 hardware. This page focuses on expanding the capabilities of the Super Famicom with a new system from Bandai called the Sufami Turbo. It's introduced as a revolutionary peripheral that changes games. The Sufami Turbo uses a base cartridge, initially featuring titles like SD Gundam and SD Ultraman, and allows up to 2 additional game or data cartridges to be inserted simultaneously, enabling new gameplay possibilities. The article highlights benefits like easily implementing character power-ups and map variations. It notes the system includes backup functionality, suggesting potential for dynamic role-playing experiences where content can be added later. The price is considered reasonable, and the system is praised as cheap, fun, that's turbo. The page also showcases other interesting Super Famicom peripherals. These include a device that allows players to swap sub-cartridges to change game content, using sound novel games as an example, and another peripheral that lets you play Game Boy cartridges on your television, mentioning games like Metroid 2 and The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. Finally, it features a communication battle matching system known as the Bind system, which allows distant players to compete and is being pre-ordered at Lawson stores, with a promise of a larger feature in the next issue. This page delves further into the Bandai Sufami Turbo system. It explains that the base cartridge contains the core game program, and inserting inexpensive game cartridges allows you to play different titles, priced affordably between 3,980 yen and 4,500 yen. Data cartridges can also be inserted to add extra content like character stats or maps, and the system's 2 cartridge slots are highlighted as a major selling point, enabling new gameplay experiences like co-op RPGs or competitive races by combining cartridges. The reviewer sees great potential for this system, anticipating series games released periodically, games featuring popular characters like Ultraman and SD Gundam, shown in screenshots, and even speculates on compatibility with Satellaview or X-Band, hoping for a future where cartridge costs remain low. This page provides a special report on the Satellaview service, offering a program guide and insights into the voice-linked broadcasts. It kicks off with a report from the voice recording session for BS Super Mario USA Power Challenge, a voice-linked version of the game. The article describes the lively atmosphere with voice actors including the iconic voices for Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, and Birdo, highlighting the challenge and fun of recording the unique dialogue for the voice-linked format. Following this is the first installment of a play diary for voice-linked programs. The writer shares their experience playing games simultaneously with thousands of other players across Japan, emphasizing the unique sense of connection and shared excitement. They mention experiencing moments like sudden double experience points or encountering numerous metal slimes in a Dragon Quest-style game, likely BS Dragon Quest, and discovering new depth in classic RPGs like The Legend of Zelda, presumably BS The Legend of Zelda, illustrated with screenshots. The play diary author, Shin Mikimoto, is introduced as a passionate gamer with experience across various platforms. Finally, there's a program schedule check covering March 25th to April 7th, listing notable Satellaview broadcasts such as BS The Legend of Zelda, the start of BS Super Mario USA, BS Marvelous Time Athletic Course, and BS Yatterman. This guide helps viewers keep track of the key voice-linked programs airing soon. This article highlights 5 hidden masterpieces released recently, potentially overshadowed by larger titles. The list includes SFC Chaos Seed Feng Shui Chronicle, Simulation RPG, SFC Deserted Island Story, Survival/Adventure, PS Suikoden, Fantasy RPG, SFC Tales of Fantasia, Orthodox RPG, and SFC Super Black Base 3 Fishing Game. The article argues these games deserve attention, urging players to experience these hidden gems before they become unavailable. This page features an article about the Super Famicom game, Chaos Seed Feng Shui Chronicle, a unique simulation RPG with Feng Shui as its central theme. The article notes the recent popularity of Feng Shui and introduces this game as an unusual take on the genre. The core gameplay revolves around restoring the land's vital energy, or dragon veins, by constructing and managing dungeons. Players build rooms and connect them with corridors, strategically using the 5 elements, metal, water, wood, fire, earth, and their compatibility to enhance energy flow and room functions like production, attack, and recovery. The reviewer expresses initial skepticism about a Feng Shui game, but finds Chaos Seed surprisingly addictive and well-designed, praising its mysterious elements and deep gameplay systems. The article highlights the satisfaction of optimizing elemental combinations and creating efficient dungeons. Screenshots display the dungeon building view and a scene of a character exploring within. A diagram visually explains the elemental compatibility rules that are crucial to gameplay. The article positions Chaos Seed as a potential breakthrough title, urging players to experience this distinctive simulation RPG developed by Taito. Chaos Seed Feng Shui Chronicle focuses on infusing energy into the dragon's lair to clear stages. Key gameplay involves restoring room and corridor points, and battling invaders. Using the attack room command is advised. alongside early character leveling. Energy production by rooms and Senju collection, spirits/fairies, is crucial for reviving the lair. Senju act as allies, automatically attacking and repairing. The game's recent visibility is attributed to the surge in Feng Shui popularity and its own mysterious nature. This page introduces the survival simulation game, Mugen 2 Monogatari, or Deserted Island Story, for the Super Famicom. The premise is a plane crash resulting in a group of 6 men and women stranded on a deserted island. The title provocatively suggests a harem state dynamic among the survivors. As the player, you take on the role of the leader, guiding the group with the ultimate goal of returning to civilization. Gameplay involves exploring the island to find resources, crafting necessary items for survival, and developing technology to advance your civilization level. This development is key to building more complex tools and facilities, ultimately leading to a way off the island. Screenshots showcase various aspects of the game, including selecting your party for exploration, which suggests managing relationships or skills, the island map view, event scenes depicting interactions or situations among the survivors, and a view of your base camp where crafting and management likely occur. The game emphasizes the importance of developing 6 different technology levels, such as wood processing, metal processing, and electricity processing, each requiring specific items to advance. The article highlights that the core gameplay loop involves exploration and investigation, leading to encounters with various events. A small section suggests the game's benefits include alleviating loneliness, providing an escape from reality, and perhaps even serving as a humorous take on preparing for unexpected crashes. This page continues the look at the survival simulation game, Mugen 2 Monogatari. It highlights the game's strong character focus and dramatic elements, where the protagonist, stranded alone after a plane crash, must explore the island to find other survivors. The reviewer notes the high number of female companions as a particular draw. Beyond the character interactions, the page emphasizes the game's significant RPG-like elements, particularly a growth system, where character abilities improve based on actions like exploration and crafting. The island is full of mysteries to uncover, from indigenous peoples and remnants of past military presence to ancient ruins, all contributing to the sense of adventure and discovery. A key goal is escape, and the game offers multiple diverse methods, including building canoes, sailboats, airships, or establishing communication via radio or satellite. The chosen method and other actions influence the game's ending. The reviewer praises the game for its depth and character focus, suggesting it offers more than just fan service, despite mentioning notable scenes like bathing events. While acknowledging the game might seem plain compared to others, the reviewer asserts its core essence of survival, exploration, and forging your own path makes it a compelling experience. This page features Konami's RPG, Suikoden, released for the PlayStation in 1995. The article emphasizes the game's core theme of friendship and the journey to gather 108 companions, known as the Stars of Destiny. It introduces the protagonist, the son of one of the Empire's 5 great generals, who becomes involved in the Liberation Army. The importance of party building is highlighted, with the challenge of selecting the best team from the large roster. Screenshots show combat, featuring characters using runes and performing special combination attacks, like the one between Tai-Ho and Yamku. Recruiting companions is a major element, often requiring specific conditions to convince characters to join, as shown in the example of Meg, who needs Jupo present. A humorous sidebar lists various types of people who might enjoy the game. The article positions Suikoden as an RPG centered on forging bonds and raising an army to stand against tyranny. Suikoden's hero's castle, crucial to the Liberation Army, expands as characters are recruited. Acquiring Toron Castle is a key early objective. Different floors house specific services like character appraisal, storage, and war councils, with the addition of an elevator from Recruiting Sergei. Recruiting characters often involves unique mini-events. The game's extensive cast of 108 characters, inspired by Water Margin, might be intimidating, but a strong party can still succeed. The unique castle management and character recruitment system provide a distinct gaming experience. This page reviews the Super Famicom RPG, Tales of Phantasia. It praises the game's impressive opening song and considers it an excellent work, highlighting the collaborative effort behind it rather than being a singular masterpiece. The story features time travel and requires players to solve mysteries. Combat is action-based, and the reviewer stresses the importance of mastering basic special moves for efficiency over powerful mystic arts. Screenshots show map exploration, dialogue scenes, and dynamic battles featuring character skills like Tiger Blade and Rain of Arrows. The game was published by Namco for 11,800 yen. This Tales of Phantasia strategy guide focuses on party composition, advising players to adjust classes tactics based on teammates. For item management, the guide highlights various foods that automatically restore HP when carried in the food sack. Endgame strategies emphasize careful progression, paying attention to dialogue, and using save slots. The guide concludes by speculating on the game's limited initial reception, potentially due to release date coinciding with a competing, larger title. The reviewer notes the game's later popularity in the used market. This page features Super Black Base 3, described as a fishing game that appeals to fans of RPGs like Mystery Dungeon, Shiren the Wanderer, and Wizardry, due to its surprising depth. The review highlights that while it's a fishing game, it incorporates significant RPG elements, such as gaining experience from catching fish to level up character abilities like stamina and technique, making the fishing easier and increasing the chance of catching large bass. The page includes screenshots showing the fishing interface, tournament scenes, and character interactions with shop owners and rival anglers. It explains that the goal is to become the top pro angler by catching big bass, achieved by honing skills and acquiring better gear. The game boasts a vast array of equipment, including over 20 types of rods, more than 10 types of reels and lines, and over 400 types of lures, offering immense freedom and strategy. Environmental factors like season, time, and weather also influence gameplay. The review emphasizes that the game offers a level of strategy and freedom rarely seen in fishing games. There are sections detailing strategies for becoming a top angler, explaining how leveling up directly impacts gameplay, and tips on how to handle hits and reel in fish effectively, noting specific techniques for different fish. The game is recommended for fishing enthusiasts, those seeking more than a typical game, and true RPG fans, suggesting the in-game scenery provides a relaxing experience. This page continues exploring Super Black Bass 3, offering advanced tips beyond the basics. It emphasizes selecting the appropriate tackle based on the time, place, and occasion, providing specific tackle recommendations ideal for beginners across rods, reels, lines, and lures. The article also includes advice for players having difficulty catching fish, suggesting adjustments to environment settings like weather and season. A detailed explanation on using the fish finder is provided, highlighting its use in locating underwater structure and fish concentrations. A key objective discussed is targeting large ranker bass, with a screenshot showcasing an impressive 3,500 grams largemouth bass catch, encouraging players to aim for even bigger fish and higher levels. Finally, a humorous section reveals the game's lack of previous deep coverage was due to the writer getting completely absorbed in playing it. This article recommends several must-play Super Famicom games before the fiscal year end, focusing on RPGs. Zero Yan Champ RRZ blends racing with RPG elements, offering part-time jobs for car upgrades. Mystery Dungeon 2. Shiren the Wanderer is lauded as a brilliant sequel to Torneco's Great Adventure, with deeper gameplay. Terranigma, an action RPG from Enix, is praised for its accessibility and impressive visuals, storytelling, and enjoyable combat. Each game is highlighted by various screenshots, showcasing key gameplay elements. This page discusses several Super Famicom RPG SYSV. Lost City of Kefin, a sequel in the long-running YS series, offers classic hack-and-slash action. Bakumatsu Kuren Den Oni, a historical fantasy RPG set in the late Edo period, features samurai battling yokai. Madu Monogatari, Hanamaru Daiyu Chenji, a Puyo Puyo spin-off, is a 2D port of a PC RPG, with a relaxed, lower difficulty experience. The article concludes with advice on navigating the overwhelming number of game releases, emphasizing regular store visits for information, and purchasing games when desired, not necessarily when prices are at a minimum. This page continues the Ambition Towards Tsukuru serial project, focusing on the music creation software Ongaku Tsukuru Kanaderu for the Super Famicom. The main event featured is the Kanaderu Battle Royal, a competition where participants created music using the software. A report on the event is presented, detailing that 5 participants competed and were judged by 3 ASC2 staff members, based on a 10-point system. The judging took place using the software's jukebox mode, with rules including creating the music alone and matching the song to an image. Screenshots show the score editor interface and the jukebox judging screen. The page also provides information on the Ongaku Tsukuru Kanaderu software itself, describing it as a music-only creation tool released after RPG Tsukuru, with no gameplay elements. 2 key topics are introduced for subsequent pages: a full report on the Kanaderu Battle Royale, and a guide on porting music created in Kanaderu to other Tsukuru series games, such as RPG Tsukuru. This page features the 5 participants of the Kanaderu Battle Royale music competition, introducing each person, their submitted song, the challenges they faced during creation, and the points they want listeners to focus on. First up is Yasuhiro Nomoto with the song Sticky Flare. He mentions struggling with reading musical scores, but highlights the tension created by the chord progression and a mysterious phrase at the end. Next is Yukio Noyasu, whose song Rainy Days was created under time pressure, and he wants listeners to appreciate the sweet melody of this piece from his folk period. Then there is Sun, who submitted Serenade, noting difficulties with technical glitches like a stuck cassette, and focusing on the string buildup and sweet melody, reminiscent of a diminished 7th chord. Pseudo-1 Nensei presents KNST, discussing the limitations of the software like simultaneous drum sounds and lack of mid-track instrument changes, while pointing out the detailed drum pattern and arpeggio section. Finally, Yohei Takashima offers Dedicated to KT, highlighting the complexity of the bass line and encouraging listeners to pay attention to the phrases, noting the challenge of creating intricate parts with single notes. The page showcases the diverse approaches and creative efforts of the participants using the Kanaderu software. This page presents the cross-review results and winners of the Kanaderu Battle Royale Music Competition. 3 judges from ASC2 Login Soft review the 5 submitted songs from the previous page, providing commentary and assigning points out of 10. The total scores reveal a tie for first place, with Yasuhiro Nomoto's Sticky Floor and Pseudo-1 Nensei's KNST, both achieving 25 points. The page highlights these 2 winning entries, featuring sections titled Voice of Joy, which likely contain comments or reactions related to their success. Accompanying screenshots display musical data for the winning songs, with specific points of interest called out, discussing elements like key changes, chord progressions, and rhythm programming that impressed the judges. Finally, an overall review section features concluding thoughts from the 3 judges. They reflect on the competition, noting the impressive variety and high level of skill demonstrated by the participants, despite the technical limitations of creating music using the Super Famicom's sound capabilities. The next page discusses how to get more enjoyment out of the Tsukuru series by combining the different software titles. It suggests that while Ongaku Tsukuru Kanaderu, Music Maker Kanaderu, is a capable music creation tool, its full potential is realized when its creations are used in other software, like RPG Tsukuru, RPG Maker, and Sound Novel Tsukuru, Sound Novel Maker. The page highlights using custom music as background music in RPG Maker, particularly for significant moments like the ending, showing the music creation interface, and an in-game screenshot. It also suggests using custom sound effects in Sound Novel Maker, even demonstrating how to create simple audio dramas with sound effects like phone rings and adding lyrics. Finally, the page announces the start of the 3rd round in the ongoing Tsukuru series competition, which will focus on Sound Novel Maker. It mentions the previous rounds, including Nomoto's victory in the Kanaderu Battle Royale, setting the stage for the next creative showdown between the featured writers. Screenshots of RPG Maker 2 and Ongaku Tsukuru Kanaderu are shown, referencing the games central to the competition. This page features a guide for Super Mario RPG, Legend of the 7 Stars, focusing on Worlds 4 and 5. The article encourages players to not miss key events in these substantial areas. It highlights that after clearing events in World 3, players return to Mushroom Kingdom to speak with the Minister, learn about the crisis threatening the kingdom, and then set out to find the 4th star piece, the information for which is held by the Frog Sage, Frog Fuchsius. A major point is the revelation that Princess Peach joins the party, becoming a playable character for the first time in the series' RPG history. The article notes she is strong, especially compared to earlier games, and excels in combat using unique weapons like parasols and fans, and is proficient in healing and support magic. World 4, the land of the falling stars Rippletown, is detailed as the location for the 4th star piece. According to the Frog Sage, it fell there. In the land of the falling stars, where wishes fall as stars, players need to activate all the glowing flowers to open a path. This leads to Rippletown. An elder in Rippletown provides information on the 5th star piece, directing Mario and the party to the sea to retrieve a fallen star. Screenshots show the Frog Sage's area, Peach's battle poses and healing move, the land of the falling stars, and Rippletown with its elder. This page details the challenges players will face in World 4 of Super Mario RPG, Legend of the 7 Stars, focusing on the sunken ship dungeon and events in Rippletown. To progress through the sunken ship, players must find a keyword hidden within nautical log fragments scattered throughout. These fragments are revealed by completing various minigames found inside the ship. The dungeon features intense consecutive boss battles. First, players battle King Calamari, followed by the charismatic pirate captain, Johnny Jones. Despite initially being an obstacle, Johnny develops a bond with Mario's party through combat and becomes a valuable ally. Upon returning to Rippletown, the situation takes a turn. The townspeople are revealed to be imposters, minions of King Smithy, led by Yuridovich. They have taken the real residents hostage and demand the star piece. Players are advised to hand over the star piece for the moment. The guide highlights the impending tough battle against Yuridovich, who employs full party attacks, emphasizing the need for recovery items. Johnny Jones even appears to assist, preventing Yuridovich's escape and solidifying his friendship with the party. Screenshots depict the minigames, boss battles, and the reveal of the imposters. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the 7 Stars World 5 features the lengthy, challenging country road, culminating in Monstrotown. Players must navigate a treacherous sand whirlpool, defeat Belome again, and potentially revisit Rippletown for a minigame. Monstrotown, surprisingly, isn't the location of the star piece, but instead holds a star idol. The star piece is revealed to be above the clouds. The area offers relaxation, minigames like Find the Fuda, and a dojo for battling Jagger. This page continues the journey in Super Mario RPG's World 5, detailing the path to Bean Valley and eventually reaching the world above the clouds where the star piece is located. To get to Bean Valley from Country Road, you need the help of the Pata Pata Squad, led by Sergeant Flutter. They assist you in scaling a high cliff, which involves a timed challenge where you jump on Koopa Troopas to ascend. Once in Bean Valley, the area is filled with mysterious pipes. Navigating these pipes often leads to treasure, but also to confrontation. One notable encounter is the Queen Flower boss fight. This giant piranha plant is watered by a Lakitu, which makes it grow into a formidable opponent. Defeating the Queen Flower is necessary to progress. After dealing with the Queen Flower, you discover a peculiar block. Hitting this block causes a giant beanstalk to sprout, leading high into the sky. Climbing this beanstalk involves tricky platforming. Successfully ascending the beanstalk brings you to a strange world floating above the clouds, reminiscent of classic Mario games with enemies like Puffers and Lakitus. This is the final area of World 5, and where the next star piece awaits. This page delves into the secrets of mastering Front Mission, Gun Hazard, the fast-paced, side-scrolling mech action RPG. The article highlights that even experienced players might not know about crucial hidden elements, key to achieving complete victory and building the ultimate Wanzer mech. The focus is on 3 hidden events: a hidden shop, a hidden friend, and a special hidden Wanzer or item. The hidden shop, found in Sydney, is a treasure trove of powerful weapons and equipment unavailable in regular stores. Accessing it involves specific steps, including having Anita as a partner and returning to the Machu Picchu area after a certain point. A unique character, Kagemitsu, can also join your team as a hidden friend. Described as a small, talkative Wanzer, Kagemitsu is unlocked by visiting Mount Marion with Sakata in your party. Furthermore, the article mentions the radar unit Kagemitsu, an item developed by Sakata that improves battlefield awareness by displaying more information on the monitor. This unit appears to be linked to the hidden friend Kagemitsu and is vital for strategic play. By uncovering these secrets and leveraging the powerful gear and unique partners they provide, players can fully upgrade their Wanzer and conquer the most challenging aspects of the game, aiming for total domination. This page dives behind the scenes of the cool commercial for Front Mission, Gun Hazard. It talks about how the commercial, featuring Albert and a mysterious beautiful girl, faithfully recreates the game's image, showing a bazooka hitting a burning Wanzer, likely the Harby G. The article highlights that the commercial was produced in America with local staff, emphasizing the level of detail. It also touches upon the lingering threat of the society, and the possibility of revenge, questioning if the fight for true peace is over, referencing the final scene involving a barrage of missiles at the Atlas headquarters. A section titled, "This is the Final Equipment," lists powerful Wanzer parts like the XD Dragoon Body, VU-5 Vernier, SHD-50 Shield, RARD-500-, VG-05 Main Weapon, MSP-05 Special Weapon, HAV-05 Pilot Suit, HHG-05 Handgun, and HGR-05 Hand Grenade. The page then focuses on the XD Dragoon, described as the Society's latest super high-performance general-purpose Wanzer, piloted by Albert. It mentions that to purchase this powerful unit, which boasts a basic durability of 4,000, you first need to defeat the Sentinel. And also notes that in Sydney's shop, you can get your hands on the strongest weapons. The page includes screenshots showing the Atlas headquarters, the isometric Sydney shop map, and gameplay footage. This comprehensive look reveals key late-game elements and powerful gear for players aiming for total victory in front mission, Gun Hazard. This page introduces Derby Stallion 96, presenting it as a horse game enjoyable for beginners. It highlights the core appeal of the Derby Stallion series, which exploded in popularity since its first release in December 1991. Derby Stallion 96 is described as the latest entry, offering newcomers a taste of its charm through this beginner's guide. The game puts the player in the role of a horse owner, raising racehorses from birth to retirement. The journey involves becoming the parent figure, nurturing the horses hands-on. While horse racing might first bring to mind the gambling aspect of predicting race results, the game focuses on the behind-the-scenes drama, where breeders, owners, and trainers pour immense love and effort into raising each horse. Derby Stallion allows players to simulate this passionate experience. The gameplay loop is explained with sections on production, breeding, training, and racing. It starts with breeding, selecting a suitable stallion based on bloodlines. After a successful conception, the foal is born a year later and begins training as a racehorse at age 3. Intensive training is key before the horse is ready to step onto the main stage for races. The page shows screenshots of the farm setting, a race in progress, and a horse's profile detailing its stats and record. This Derby Stallion 96 page details inbreeding and nicks for breeding top racehorses. Inbreeding concentrates desired traits, speed, stamina, by mating closely related horses, indicated by numbers like Hyperion 3x4. While powerful, it risks negative traits. Successful and problematic inbreeding examples are provided. Nicks, unlike direct inbreeding, highlight favorable bloodline combinations that enhance horses, exemplified by horses like Rice Shower. The page offers specific nick combinations to improve breeding results in the game, emphasizing their reliable, if less dramatic, impact compared to inbreeding. This page delves into the crucial aspects of training and managing your horses in Derby Stallion 96 after they've been bred. It highlights that training increases a horse's abilities like speed on turf or stamina on dirt, but overtraining can lead to excessive weight loss, detrimental to race performance. Pay close attention to the horse's weight. Understanding your horse's condition is key, and the game provides this through comments from the trainer. There are comments before training about physical state, and comments after training about the horse's finish condition. Learning to interpret these helps determine the best training regimen and anticipate performance. For players with many horses, or those new to the game, the automatic stable management system is introduced. You can entrust training and race entry to different stable masters. While convenient in making the game more accessible, it's noted that aiming for top Big One races might still require hands-on management. The page then breaks down several stable masters across different regions, outlining their tendencies, such as specializing in short distances, managing condition, or handling early blooming horses. Fujita is praised as particularly effective, carrying over his strong reputation from the previous game. Choosing the right stable master based on your horse's type is crucial when using this feature. This page delves further into strategic planning for Derby Stallion 96. Starting with the crucial aspect of race rotation. It explains how each horse has unique strengths in distance and course, stressing the need to plan target races and adjust condition and weight accordingly, with an ideal race interval of about 3 weeks. The game incorporates the real-life JRA schedule changes, including new Grade 1 races like the Shukashu. It also discusses jockey strategy, suggesting you choose jockeys based on their preferred tactics, such as a late charge, and give instructions that match both the jockey and the horse. Common beginner questions are addressed, like which initial stable to choose, noting it's less critical than learning condition management personally. The difference between Kanto and Kansai region races is also discussed, suggesting you pick based on familiarity or location. Interestingly, the page highlights the real-life horse Machikane Iwa Shimizu, who appears in the game with free stud fees and can produce surprisingly good offspring. Lastly, it explains symbols on the race card, identifying SP speed and Saint stamina as key indicators of ability, and emphasizes the importance of guts, kanjo. The winning strategy, according to the game, is effort and research through breeding and racing horses to discover your own methods. The next page explores the concept of a relaxed, laid-back, happy game, focusing on simple, stress-free titles perfect for unwinding. The main subject appears to be a collection of puzzle games, prominently featuring Sane Game. It shows gameplay where you clear matching blocks, alongside other puzzle types like a pipe connecting game, and one involving matching character icons or other symbols. The page defines a happy game by criteria such as being playable when free, stoppable when tired, and even helping you fall asleep. Different modes or variants like Eurogame and Sumgame are also mentioned, emphasizing a variety of simple, enjoyable puzzles designed for pure relaxation. This page presents a humorous, thorough anti-strategy operation for playing happy games, focusing on a same-style puzzle game featuring connected pipes and cylinders of various colors, possibly nicknamed Juteam. Embracing a lazy approach, the article explores several ineffective ways to play, such as clearing blocks based on a favorite color, starting from the very center, or attempting to clear from the bottom. Accompanying screenshots visually demonstrate the poor board states resulting from these flawed strategies. The text explains why these methods are counterproductive, like erasing from the center, affecting surrounding pieces negatively, or clearing from the bottom causing blocks above to drop awkwardly. The piece maintains a lighthearted tone, illustrating common mistakes players might make when just trying to relax and play without thinking too hard, reinforcing the idea of it being a stress-free, albeit sometimes frustrating, experience. The game is noted to be available on Super Famicom from Hudson. This page dives into the chaotic fun of Super Bomberman Party Pack on the Super Famicom, framed under the Happy Game Grand Operations segment. It sets the scene with a party flowchart: start, followed by a toast, then eating, and finally, starting the Bomberman game. The article highlights key, sometimes frustrating, mechanics like being able to throw bombs, kick them across the map, and the classic predicament of getting trapped by your own planted explosives. Humorous idiot remarks from Masterbomb provide commentary on these situations. The page previews several modes available, including the standard normal mode, the free-for-all battle royale, the competitive championship mode pitting players against CPU characters, and the customizable mania mode where item appearances can be adjusted. Screenshots illustrate the action in these different modes, showcasing various maps and gameplay scenarios. It's all about gathering friends for explosive party battles. This page continues the party theme from the previous spread, shifting focus to the chaotic party battles of Super Bomberman 4 on the Super Famicom. It provides a playful report on a get-together, highlighting key moments during gameplay. Expect humorous anecdotes about getting distracted by in-game sounds, being surprisingly eliminated by opponents, and even getting thrown around by character abilities, often leading to being trapped by your own bombs. These moments are punctuated by Master Bakuman's idiot remarks. The author signs off the Bomberman section with a message, announcing a break for the column due to research abroad. Additionally, there's a brief mention of a puzzle game called Studio P Fufukufu 2 for the PlayStation, highlighting its unique pot-making puzzle mechanic. Super Bomberman 4, published by Hudson for the Super Famicom, launched on April 26th. This page is dedicated to Dragon Quest Viggy, focusing on a fun DQ casting section. Based on reader postcards, the editorial team has selected real-life personalities and celebrities they think would be perfect for casting the game's characters if it were made into a film or show. The main characters featured are the hero, Carver, Terry, Mireille, Hassan, and Barbara, each with a cast suggestion. For the hero, members of SMAP are suggested. Carver's casting was difficult, but a sharp-witted person is ideal. Terry's image brings to mind Edward Furlong, who appeared in a Hollywood movie, or perhaps a Japanese actor known for commercials. Mirai's image is described as having a mysterious atmosphere, making casting difficult. Hassan's physique and personality lead to suggestions like professional wrestlers or martial artists. Barbara's casting is also debated, with suggestions for popular talents who embody a lively yet somewhat cynical spirit. There's also a section titled I Think, where individual readers share their personal casting ideas and thoughts on the game. One reader agrees with the idea of Hassan and Carver being comedic duo types, while another specifically suggests actors like Kenichi Osawa and Emiri Nakayama for Terry and Tanya respectively. A third reader strongly believes Edward Furlong is the absolute perfect fit for Terry if DQVI were ever adapted into live action. The page concludes with details on where readers can send postcards for the Kenbunroku section, and a preview for the next issue, which promises a My Youth DQ special. This page features a series of short manga comic strips covering various topics. One strip is titled Tora Tora Tora, and another references Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, although their specific connection is unclear from the dialogue snippets shown. There's commentary on game difficulty, with one character stating that games aren't hard mode, they're hard. Another strip discusses the release of a game remix. Military themes appear in a strip featuring a character addressing an American soldier with a derogatory term and mentioning the U.S. military attacking, echoing themes potentially related to war games or history. Philosophical or ecological discussions are also depicted in a later strip, featuring a character labeled the Ecology Old Man. This page features a breakdown of the fighting game Vampire Hunter, known internationally as Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge, for the Sega Saturn. The article highlights the game's key features, which build upon its predecessor, including an expanded character roster and refined mechanics. Two central systems are discussed: the special stock gauge, used for powerful X special moves, and the chain combo. The article emphasizes that the special stock gauge accumulates as you fight, enabling these impactful attacks, though notes that strategy might sometimes dictate saving the gauge depending on the character. The core of the analysis focuses on the chain combo system. Described as a sequence of attacks that definitely connect, the article explains that timing is crucial and button mashing won't work. A diagram illustrates the fundamental rule, linking attacks from weak to medium to strong for both punches and kicks, with cross connections between punches and kicks also possible. Tips are provided, such as the stability of starting with a weak attack for guaranteed hits, and considering the difference between high and low attacks within combos. It also mentions examples like Morrigan's special move combos and Victor's damage variation, advising players to choose high damage moves. The piece concludes by suggesting that while getting many hits is good, focusing on practical damage output and using moves with good reach for the combo finisher is more important than simply maximizing hit count. Basic game information is also included. The publisher is Capcom, the price is 6,800 yen, and it's on Sega Saturn. This guide details optimal use of special stock gauge X and S moves in Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge. X moves are powerful but often difficult to cancel into. Enhanced moves, enhanced specials, are generally easier to incorporate into combos. Specific strategies are given for each character: Dimitri, Morrigan, John Talbain, Rikuo, Shienko, Donovan, Lord Raptor, Bishamon, Felicia, Anakaris, Sasquatch, Victor, Huitzil, and Pyron. Each character's optimal use of X and X moves varies based on their playstyle and situation. Some characters, like Pyron, should prioritize zoning and specific X moves, while others, like Dimitri, benefit more from powerful, but potentially less accessible, X options. This page discusses the upcoming PlayStation version of Winning Post 2, a popular horse racing simulation game. The article highlights the significant upgrades in this new version, particularly the graphics and sound. The race scenes have been completely revamped, using full polygons, offering dynamic camera viewpoints controllable by the player. The visuals and sound have been entirely renewed, with the music using MIDI sound sources for a high-quality finish. The core gameplay remains the same, focusing on achieving goals like winning major races and breeding successful horses, but the enhanced presentation is a major draw. The game also promises improved interaction with the secretaries, who will have significantly more dialogue, adding depth and personality. Screenshots show the new polygon race graphics, a race information overlay, and a scene featuring the game's secretaries. The reviewers seem excited about the graphical leap and the enhanced race experience, noting that the polygon races address a previous weakness in the series. This page provides a detailed look at various supporting features and past entries in the Winning Post series. One section highlights the value of the in-game Kiba News, a weekly paper delivering race results, rankings, and crucial race information described as essential for any player. Another useful tool is the Horse Racing Terminology Dictionary, integrated into the game to help beginners understand the sport's unique vocabulary, accessible via the secretary character. The game world is brought to life by over 500 diverse characters, including trainers, jockeys, breeders, and rival owners. These interactions, along with the presence of rival horses, significantly enhance the game's drama and immerse the player in the life of a horse owner. A notable feature is the compatibility of passwords from the Super Famicom (SFC) version of Winning Post 2. This allows players to carry over their carefully trained horses to the newer version, likely the Saturn X or the PlayStation version mentioned previously, and even challenge rival horses they competed against on the SFC. The page also includes a brief review of past Winning Post games, covering the popular Super Famicom Winning Post 2 and the Saturn release, Winning Post X. The Saturn version is highlighted for its use of real-life photos in its visuals, famously featuring real-life idol Yuko Arimasa as the secretary, which generated considerable buzz. Screenshots show various gameplay elements, including race results, character portraits, and race scenes. This page features the 64 Super Readers section, starting with a note that the previous issue's temporary title had to be cancelled because the cherry blossoms weren't as advanced as expected when the issue went to print, coinciding with the start of the new school year. They were a bit too early. The page includes this week's home run, showcasing reader artwork and submissions. The Reader's Voices section features various reader comments. One reader discusses purchasing the magazine and being reminded of the legendary gamer Takahashi Meijin, his famous 16-shot technique, and a past controversy surrounding it, wondering what that was all about. Another reader shares their experience clearing Wizardry Gaiden on Game Boy and then buying Wizardry versus on Super Famicom second-hand, only to find all the valuable shop items were missing, suspecting the previous owner took them. There's also a 64 Levitas market corner for readers to buy, sell, or trade items. Readers are actively seeking games like Lagrange Point, Castlevania Famicom Best, likely the CD version, and titles from the Angelique series. The bottom right features a cartoon strip, which appears to humorously depict the revival of someone resembling Takahashi Meijin using a Ring of the Dead. This page features various reader contributions and columns. There's a call for readers to submit illustrations for the mailbag section. Voice actress Sachiko Sugawara, known as the voice of Shiori Fujisaki from Konami's Tokimeki Memorial, starts a new column sharing personal anecdotes. She talks about recording for the Tokimeki Memorial CD drama, likening the gathering of voice actors to a school, and recounts a lively minigame session during recording, where her character, Shiori, and Yukari Tamura's character, Ijuin Rei, faced off at a popularity poll event. After the recording, she shares a humorous detail about herself, referred to as Sachi, being terrible with alcohol and switching to oolong tea. Other sections include a reader's personal struggle with dating and wanting to be popular, a recommendation for Turner acrylic gouache paint popular with art students, a feature on Namco game music composer Shinji Hoso, and a declaration from a reader participating in the Puyo Puyo Masters tournament, vowing not to lose in the preliminaries this year. Finally, a Q and a Ku with Sachiko Sugawara reveals she didn't give out Valentine's chocolate and poses a question back to the reader about their White Day experience. This page features two columns. The first is Kagurazaka Field Report by Seiji Yamanaka, who works at game developer Fill-In Cafe. He describes the step-by-step process of pitching a new game concept, from finishing a previous project to presenting proposals to a client, detailing the planning, strategy, and emotional ups and downs involved. An accompanying illustration shows him overwhelmed by the creative process. The second column, True Cinema Heaven, by Michitoshi Kuroki, reviews the 1995 American psychological thriller Copycat. He discusses how movies tap into various human fears and introduces Copycat as an example of the popular psycho-suspense genre. highlighting its focus on criminal profiling techniques and the thrilling dynamic between the agoraphobic protagonist and the serial killer. A humorous drawing of three cartoon cats visually references the movie title, playing on the literal meaning of copycat. Kuroki also briefly mentions his current interest in a Japanese TV drama. This page features two columns. The first, Suppin Talk, by Miyoko Teruaki, shares personal anecdotes about her gaming experiences. She discusses trying Tekken 2, wanting to play a game similar to Street Fighter, and ending up borrowing Tekken. She also recounts a peculiar encounter with a silent demo CD for PlayStation, and reflects on feeling ignorant about games. A brief note from Taiko mentions moving and recent earthquakes. The second column, Drawing Your Favorite Game, features guest Kazuhiro Kurosawa, who draws characters from Night Warriors, Darkstalker's Revenge, titled Vampire Hunter here. His illustrations are accompanied by comments on various characters like Felicia, Lord Raptor, and Bishamon. Kazuhiro also writes about his passion for fighting games, highlighting the satisfying combos and distinct personalities of the Darkstalkers cast as reasons he's hooked on Night Warriors. A profile for Kiku Kurosawa mentions working in editorial and eagerly awaiting games like Resident Evil and Tekken 2. The bottom section is a short call for contributors, inviting industry figures and readers to submit columns to the magazine. This page features an article introducing excellent older games chosen by the editors and writers, titled Museum of Masterpieces, released a little while ago. It highlights two Super Famicom titles. First is Axelay, a shooting game from Konami. The reviewer reflects on the decline of the shooting genre at the time, but praises Axelay as a standout due to its dynamic scrolling, impressive visuals, and diverse gameplay functions that delighted fans despite a delayed release. A screenshot shows the game's distinct graphical style. The second game is 4.6 Billion Year Story by Enix, an action game centered around the evolution of life. The reviewer explains that you play as a creature evolving by defeating and consuming others, changing your body parts. They find this evolution system fascinating, and the variety of forms you can take engaging. The game is described as approachable and having an educational element about Earth's history, which is presented in a compelling way. A screenshot displays an evolution message. This article explores the use of polygon characters, fundamental to video game design, in game novels. It discusses how game screens and 3D percentagram illustrations are integrated into these novels, sometimes with a substantial 3:7 text-to-illustration ratio. Two examples are examined: Tekken, Michelle, Girl of the Wasteland, focusing on Michelle Chang, and Virtual Cop, Crisis City, following three investigators in a 3D shooting game. The article also describes the Virtual Cop game itself, highlighting its action-oriented gameplay, and includes a screenshot. A related feature, Forest of Living Characters, provides book recommendations and introduces a Guardian character. This page provides general information and reviews across various media. The header indicates sections on news, events, goods, cinema, CD, video, books, and more. One article focuses on an event celebrating the release of the 3D RPG Grand Chef of the Kingdom, a unique game where cooking is central to the gameplay. The event featured a demonstration and an autograph session with the voice actress for the main character, Ai Orizasa. There's a screenshot showing a game menu listing ingredients. Another section reviews Tokyo River, an amusement park by Banpresto. Highlights include the haunted house on the 3rd floor and the Western Mystery Mansion on the 6th floor, which features scenes related to figures like the Phantom of the Opera and Frankenstein. The 5th floor hosts a 3D virtual theater. The park also sells nostalgic goods and is conveniently located near several Junior and Kaisei train lines. Finally, a column on enjoying tea discusses Uva tea from Sri Lanka. It's described as a high-grade tea, known for its strong flavor and aroma. The author personally finds it better as milk tea, due to its intensity, but ultimately prefers black tea served straight. This page reports on various events and upcoming releases. An event for the Sega Saturn game, Omakase Cyberizers, took place in Akihabara on February 25th, featuring 3 members from the group field-dressed in costumes from the game. Although the event faced a brief interruption, fans seem to have a great day overall. There's also coverage of a Fighting Vipers tournament held at Yokohama Joyopolis, serving as a preliminary for the national competition. Magazine staff participated, and the report highlights key matches, including one between players known as Sasuke and Gallic, both from the magazine team. The tournament was ultimately won by Ken Mizutani, who used the character Jane. Fans of the popular character Bazaru de Piopio will be interested in a spring campaign. Readers have a chance to win a special prize set, including bandages and a handkerchief, by applying via postcard. For Sega Saturn owners, April brings several new titles, including Fishing Koshien, the compilation, Irem Arcade Classics, Desert Arms, the Gradius Deluxe Pack compilation, and Victory Goal 96. The report notes the appeal of these classic arcade remakes. Finally, beloved nostalgic characters from series like Time Bokan, Yatterman, and Gatchaman are making a comeback in a unique way, as 500-piece jigsaw puzzles. These puzzles feature original artwork and a special hologram effect. Illustrations show characters such as Yatterman, the Doranbo Gang, and Berg Katse. One puzzle featuring the arch-rival Berg Katse even comes with a special card. This page features various media releases and information. The top section covers books and comics, including a strategy guide for Tokimeki Memorial, a comic based on the Angelique series, and a book titled Legend of the Dragon, which examines dragons across different cultures and eras. A section on program changes for compiles radio shows, lists various broadcast stations, days, and times. The main focus, highlighted by a large graphic title, is on recent music releases, showcasing soundtracks for games like Wangan Dead Heat and Baketsu de Gohan, a single by Hitomi Sudo with ties to the Ultraman franchise, and the soundtrack for the fighting game Shin O Ken. The featured release of the month is a mini-album titled Two Right Pointing Arrow Remix, containing popular theme song remixes from Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. This page features various new media releases including music, video, and anime. There's an announcement for the Killik, the Blood soundtracks and remix album for the PlayStation game. A big highlight is the popular idol Janshi Tsuchipai series getting an anime adaptation, with comments from the voice cast who discuss their characters and the show's slightly erotic aspects. Also covered are various video releases, including a review of the 1995 F1 Grand Prix season, and concert videos like Mariko Kuda's 1995 tour. Anime OVA releases are featured, such as Idol Project 2, focusing on an idol swimsuit competition, and Key the Metal Idol releases. A video series titled Tenkusei Etude.1 is presented as a slightly erotic love story about a transfer student, drawing on characters from other game series. Finally, two comedy parody videos, 0061, from Beijing with Love, and from Scotland with Love, are shown. This page features a major special feature dedicated to the horse racing game Derby Stallion 96, celebrating its release. The main focus is a massive 40-page guide covering the game extensively. It also highlights the upcoming classic races, the Uka Show and Satsuki Show, with a large section titled The Classics Are Here. The feature promises insights into enjoying the classics more, including breeding data, training methods, and prediction techniques for successful racing in the game. Additionally, there's an introductory section for beginners, offering tips on predictions and a guide to the Nakayama racecourse. Images show a jockey riding a horse, and a small game screenshot featuring horse names like Mihono Bourbon and Omakase Fujieda. This page dives into the world of simulation gaming, featuring the title World Advanced War Strategy Operation File. This Sega Saturn release from 1996 is highlighted as the sister title to the original World Advanced War Strategy, a classic from SystemSoft in 1988 that has been reprogrammed by Sega. The feature acts as an operation file guide, particularly focusing on the game's appeal and its map structure, which is designed with newcomers in mind. It promises to reveal the path to becoming a master commander. The page is illustrated with screenshots showing pixelated 3D models of military units, including a tank on a ground map, a large battleship at sea, and a formation of aircraft in the sky, giving a taste of the game's strategic battles. The essential game details are also provided. It's a simulation game for the Sega Saturn, published by Sega, currently released, and priced at 4,800 yen. This page delves deeper into the strategic simulation game featured previously, emphasizing the massive expansion present in this iteration, titled Campaign Grand Strategy. The reviewer highlights the significant increase in content, particularly in the standard mode, which now includes 32 maps compared to the previous 10, offering difficulties suitable for everyone from beginners to experts. The core rules remain consistent with the predecessor, making it easy for returning players to dive in. A major focus is the campaign mode, described as an RPG-like experience, where units carry over and gain experience as players clear sequential maps. This allows units to grow stronger and potentially gain access to new equipment. Standard mode provides self-contained battles on varied maps, with some specifically tailored for newcomers. Screenshots showcase the mode selection screen, a map selection example, New Guinea, detailed unit stats for a T-28 tank, and the unit evolution screen, where experience leads to new unit deployment chances. The page promises a rich and expanded strategic experience, directing readers to further pages for detailed map and campaign breakdowns. This page dives into the standard mode of Campaign Grand Strategy, explaining it offers standalone battles on individual maps. These maps are sorted into 4 categories: Beginners, Expert, Multiplayer, and Next Level, providing challenges for all skill levels. The classic map highlighted is the Island Campaign from the Beginners set. This map is known for its diverse terrain and is ideal for standard 2-nation conflicts, though ship production isn't possible here. The key strategy emphasized is quickly capturing the central island area's neutral cities and airports to build economic power, using fast reconnaissance units like armored vehicles to secure this central zone and advance towards the enemy is advised. Although they can't capture points, they are vital for defense. The page also features a list of all 32 maps available in standard mode across the different categories. Additionally, it spotlights key units such as the German FW-190, a fighter, and the Panther tank type D, detailing their strengths and weaknesses. The text specifically notes the toughness of Soviet tanks used by the Red Nation and suggests using air power against them rather than direct tank assaults. Screenshots show the mode selection, the island campaign map, and units in action. This page analyzes standard mode maps, focusing on Battle of Britain, Beginners, and Winter War, Expert. Battle of Britain tasks players as Germany, aiming for air superiority over the Dover Strait by targeting radar, supply, and airfields. Effective strategy involves quickly eliminating numerous anti-air defenses, like the 88mm flak gun. Winter War depicts the Soviet-Finnish conflict, emphasizing the impact of heavy snow on air superiority. The recommended Soviet strategy leverages long-range artillery, Katyusha, 122mm, and carefully advances heavy tanks, KV-2, due to terrain and enemy strength. This page focuses on the multiplayer's mode map, Seto Inland Sea Wars, a classic from the PC version of the strategy game series, likely Dai Senryaku. The map depicts a 4-country struggle for dominance around Japan's Seto Inland Sea. A unique feature highlighted is the availability of extremely rare or prototype units that saw limited or no historical deployment. The content encourages players to simply enjoy fielding and battling with these powerful superweapons. Examples showcased include the massive American B-36 bomber and T-95 heavy tank, Germany's planned H-class battleship, and the massive Mouse tank, Japan's Type 5 medium tank, and Soviet units like the P-8 bomber and JS-2I heavy tank. The German production screen is even shown, emphasizing the abundance of these rare units for enthusiasts. Rather than deep strategy, the fun lies in unleashing these hypothetical war machines. This page delves into more maps and units for the strategy game series. It features 3 distinct scenarios. The Expert Berlin map depicts the final, desperate battle for the German capital under attack from both Allied and Soviet forces, requiring players to carefully manage defenses, especially by bombing bridges in the west, while focusing on the Eastern Soviet push. The Expert Red Bear map is set in Hokkaido and Karafuto, challenging the Japanese army to repel a Soviet invasion in a fast-paced scenario that favors ground defense, early and later air power. Next Level, End of Manchukuo, presents a unique scenario where the Soviet Union suddenly invades Manchukuo at the war's end, tasking the Japanese with protecting civilians without air support, relying on terrain and artillery. The page also highlights some truly unconventional units, including the German Honobu, a mysterious laser-equipped flying disc, and the Japanese Kyoryu, Dinosaur, which is classified as a heavy tank. These unusual units are showcased in maps like Parkland, where players can enjoy bizarre battles like Honobu versus Kyoryu. This page provides a detailed look at the Soviet campaign mode and its various units in this strategy game. It outlines the map progression for the Soviet campaign, starting with the Kiev encirclement battle and moving through stages like breaking armor defenses, the Battle of Yoshkar-Ola, the Battle of Khalkhin Gol, and culminating in the largest battle, with more to follow. The page also serves as a guide to Soviet weaponry, showcasing key aircraft units. Featured are the I-15, Yak-1, and MiG-3 fighter planes, the heavily armored Il-2 ground attack aircraft, nicknamed Shturmovik, and the older TB-3 bomber. Each unit's capabilities are summarized, including their attack, mobility, defense, and overall effectiveness, giving players insight into their strengths and weaknesses for strategic planning in the campaign. This page continues the Soviet campaign guide, focusing on ground units like artillery, tanks, and infantry. It highlights units like the powerful 152mm howitzer and field gun, both noted for their long range and high attack power, rated A overall B. The iconic Katyusha rocket launcher truck is featured, praised for its low cost and indirect fire capability, earning an overall rating despite poor accuracy. Light tanks like the scouting-focused T-60m42, rated D overall, and the fast BT-7A, rated B overall, are presented, with the latter noted for evolving into the T-34. Heavy hitters include the KV-1E heavy tank, a reliable unit with strong defense, rated A overall. The revolutionary T-34C medium tank is highlighted as a primary battle tank, lauded for its sloped armor, mobility, and cost-effectiveness, earning an A overall, and recommended for mass production. Specialized units like the IAG-10A, self-propelled anti-aircraft gun, rated C overall, and the Su-152 self-propelled gun, designed to counter Tigers, rated B overall, are also included. Finally, the ski infantry, valuable in the snow-covered Soviet campaign, is described as an elite unit with an overall rating in suitable conditions. This page serves as an operations file guide for the strategy game Great War, Daisen detailing 3 specific historical scenarios. Map 1 covers the Kievan Pocket Battle in 1941. This scenario is a large encirclement operation, where the goal is to prevent the historical Soviet defeat by destroying the German Second Army HOQ. Players are warned about German reinforcements from the south, and advised to carefully use the initial T-34 and KVI units, as T-34s cannot be produced on this map. Map 2 depicts the Moscow Front battle during the winter of 19,411,942. The objective is to defend the capital. Snow is a factor, making units like Katyushas and field guns particularly effective. Players need to prioritize attacking units from the southwest, while Allied reinforcements handle the northwest. A time limit adds pressure, and the freezing river allows passage later in the scenario. Map 3 focuses on the Stalingrad counterattack in early 1943. A scenario featuring a high density of units on a smaller map. The strategy involves using KVI tanks to block German advances from the south, and quickly capturing the north to bring the enemy within range of powerful field guns. The 152mm field gun's long range is highlighted as a key advantage on this map, alongside the Katyusha, due to the snowy conditions. Advancing cautiously behind strong units like the KVI with artillery support is recommended for victory. The Great War strategy game continues with 2 challenging scenarios. Map 4, Darkness of Kharkiv, details the 1943 Soviet defeat near Kharkiv, where German reinforcements, including Tigers, appear unexpectedly, threatening rear units. The key is quickly attacking Manstein's forces. Map 5, Greatest Tank Battle, Kursk, depicts the massive tank battle, where anticipating the German offensive, the Soviets fortified heavily. Success hinges on quickly targeting and destroying one enemy HQ, then the other. The What Happened in History section explains Manstein's counterattack and its role in the lead-up to Kursk. Finally, the Enemy Units to Watch Out For section highlights the powerful Panther tank and the defensive KV-1C tank. This page shifts focus to the virtual campaign mode in the Great War strategy game. Unlike the historical scenarios, here you play as the commander of the fictional Paracella Republic on the continent of Paralad, facing a series of crises. A key feature is choosing one of 5 production types at the start, which defines your nation's military capabilities throughout the campaign. The maps branch based on your progress, offering different strategic paths. The production type analysis section details how these choices significantly impact difficulty. The German type boasts the highest quality units across the board, particularly strong in the air and with excellent future unit prospects. Players should focus on producing powerful Type 4 tanks and leveraging their superior aircraft like the FW-190 and later models. The This type receives top ratings across the board. In contrast, the Japanese type is noted for having very weak ground forces, with tanks like the Type 97 being inferior to international counterparts even early on. Success with this type relies heavily on its reasonably strong air units, especially fighters. Despite the decent air force, the overall weakness of the ground army makes this a challenging choice, reflected in its lower ratings for ground and overall capability. Other initial types, like the initial army and initial air force types, are also mentioned as options. This page continues the deep dive into the different production types available in the Great War's virtual campaign mode, examining the American, Soviet, and British options. The American type is presented as ideal for beginners, focusing on mass production and balance. While early air units might be a hurdle, this type features strong defensive ground units with decent attack power, becoming quite reliable, especially as superior units appear later. It scores B for ground, B for air, A for future potential, and B overall. Next is the Soviet type, known for its unusual but effective weapons. Early on, you rely on readily available units, but can quickly ramp up production of iconic, powerful tanks like the KV and T-34 series. The Soviet type also boasts strong artillery, like the Katyusha, and potent 152mm howitzers. Although its air force is noted as weak, the sheer strength and variety of its ground forces more than compensate. This type earns an A for ground, D for air, B for future potential, and B overall. Finally, the British type is described as having struggled with tank development, offering fewer varieties compared to other nations. While ground units are relatively weak, the British Air Force is considered decent, featuring aircraft like the Wellington and Lancaster. Success with this type seems to rely heavily on leveraging its air power to support the weaker ground army. It receives ratings of C for ground, B for air, B for future potential, and C overall. This page provides tactical overviews for the first 3 maps in WoW Great Strategy. Map 1, Breakdown of Peace, serves as an easy introduction focused on driving back invading Japanese and American forces. The advice is to hit the weaker Japanese first using artillery and air support, while being mindful of fast-moving enemy infantry. Map 2, Southern Blade, significantly ramps up the difficulty against American forces, emphasizing the critical role of tanks and air power. Gaining air superiority early is key, along with bombarding enemy strongholds before advancing. Finally, Map 3, Fortress Island, challenges you to assault a Japanese naval base. Success hinges on controlling the skies against dangerous Zero fighters and carefully approaching a powerful, long-range battleship in the harbor. The page also highlights these Zero fighters and the battleship as the primary threats to anticipate across these initial scenarios. This page continues the strategic breakdown for WoW Great Strategy, covering maps 4 through 7. Map 4, titled Desert Kingdom, challenges you to invade the English-style Blatant Nation across a vast desert map. Air units are vital here. The guide suggests tackling the Hapona forces first, due to their troublesome air power. Destroying bridges to halt enemy invasions is critical, as is using bombardment aircraft effectively. The key to victory is taking down the Hapona headquarters. Next is Map 5, Island of Remote Islands, focusing on attacking a Hapona naval base, similar to Map 3, but with more advanced enemy units. Scattered old-style battleships with wide attack ranges demand caution. Charging with tanks alone is risky. Air support against anti-tank positions is essential. Map 6, One Wing in the Fog, puts you in a tough spot. Landing in Akumara and being immediately surrounded. Strong defensive placement around your headquarters is crucial, using field guns and anti-aircraft guns in cities for combined defense. Using combat aircraft to quickly eliminate the western enemy headquarters is highlighted as the path to success. Finally, Map 7, Port Island, revisits a port environment but with significantly more advanced enemies, including airborne tanks and the powerful Repu fighter. Akumara Navy reinforcements also arrive from the south. While the basic strategy echoes earlier maps, the increased enemy presence necessitates a much more cautious approach. This guide continues the WoW Great Strategy, focusing on maps 8 to 10. Map 8, Eagle's Right Wing, leverages Allied control of the West to focus on the eastern enemy. German players can use Panther tanks defensively. Map 9, Eagle's Claw, features advanced units on both sides, requiring Allied initial pincer movements to break southeast fortifications. Air support is crucial to counter Glegian attacks. Map 10, Grey Empire, is an invasion of the Glegian homeland complicated by Rokuyon reinforcements. Speed is vital for establishing supply lines and securing air bases. German players gain access to powerful ground units, like the Hummel self-propelled gun. This page continues. The strategy guide for the game was Great Strategy, covering maps 11 through 13. Map 11, titled Yellow Sunset, details an invasion of the Japon mainland complicated by the appearance of Razzia forces and the improving Japon army, which is starting to field better tanks like the Type 3 Chinu. Players using the German production type can deploy powerful units such as the Panther G and Tiger 1. Map 12, Eastern Fog, features advanced units on both sides and stresses the importance of air support and quickly eliminating long-range artillery, like the 155mm long Tom. Map 13, King of Grey, is a challenging invasion map against a strong Galician force, reinforced by advanced Rokuyon units, where securing the airbase and protecting supply lines are key. A column discusses the game's virtual campaign, highlighting the excitement of new unit development and evolution, and notes that the campaign concludes after 8 maps, potentially leading to the Paracella Republic conquering neighboring countries. This page features an illustration of a character with flowing hair standing over a circular emblem, related to the title Umaga Toshi. A section introduces a reader participation RPG set in Umaga Toshi, a city linked to the world of the Sega Saturn game Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner. Readers can create characters and submit actions via postcard to influence the ongoing story published in the magazine. This is described as the 5th installment of the RPG, and the narrative is reaching its climax, offering readers a final chance to have their characters participate and potentially solve the city's biggest incident. The process involves reading about the current incidents, creating a character and choosing their action from available options, sending the submission on a postcard provided in the magazine, and if successful, potentially receiving a postcard indicating a demon partner has joined them. The page also lists the credits for the project, including supervision by Atlas, the game's developer. This page from the Hirazaki Journal presents a series of bizarre news reports. In the comic strip Hi-Ho-Kun, the titular character introduces himself and mentions his brother's graduation. Major headlines include the extermination of a giant fly at a restaurant called Bistro Angry, where young individuals like 17-year-old Ryoryu Tanashi and 18-year-old Akihiro Endo were among those fighting the massive insect. Another report details the vanished Kusanagi sword and suspicion towards a missing new artist, where the ancient sword's disappearance from a museum, possibly due to a devil, leads to questions about a missing artist. Quirkier news, cat ear disease pandemic is spreading, causing people to sprout feline ears. The report mentions a place called Cat Mansion and the affected individuals seemingly enjoying their new condition, as depicted in the accompanying illustration. Other articles cover a long line for return gifts on White Day, the postponement of the Kadama building demolition due to worker unease, and the upcoming holding of 2 major religious events related to mythology figures like Susanoo and Yamata no Orochi in the local shrines. The page features illustrations of the giant fly battle and people with cat ears. This page features the first issue of the Hirazaki Journal, dated March 22, 1996. The main article details the tragedy of the graduation ceremony at Miyamori Gakuen, where students were tragically engulfed in flames. The accompanying illustration shows a chaotic scene during the ceremony, with fire raging and figures reacting in panic, presided over by a mysterious figure on stage. The report mentions student fatalities, including Akira Moria, and hints at bizarre circumstances involving a Grim Reaper. Another article highlights the Hell Live performance by the popular rock band Necrophobia. During a show featuring shocking acts like a blood shower and animal cruelty, a band member named Sadshi suddenly collapsed and later died from heart paralysis. Future performances have been cancelled. Finally, the reincarnation story column appears to be the conclusion of an interactive narrative where readers influence the story through postcard submissions, reflecting the strange events covered elsewhere in the paper. This page presents the results of the 4th round of the Reader Participation RPG Otsuma City, revealing the solutions to several ongoing mysteries. The first section details the resolution of the Miyamori Gakuen bullying and suicide incident. It was revealed that a company named Gaia manipulated a bullied student to create a goddess reincarnation and absorb energy. The illustration likely depicts the freed student. Next, the page covers the plot involving the shadows lurking in delicious food. This centered on the demon Beelzebub, who was defeated after posing as the president of a company. The mystery also involved an incubus connected to a confectionery shop. An illustration shows the incubus character preparing something. The third section explains the disappearance of Erika Arizawa and the Kusanagi no Tsurugi sword. Erika's disappearance is linked to a demon and being sealed within her art. The mystery of her true identity remains, but the sword's involvement is confirmed. The section includes an illustration of the legendary sword. The Voice of the Citizens section features comments from readers who participated in solving the mysteries, sharing their thoughts on the results and various elements of the game, including the popular Cat Mansion location. Finally, this month's Oddball highlights a character named Shinsetsu Shitakata, a 21-year-old female bartender known for unusual activities, such as communicating with UFOs. Her actions are noted as being exactly as described by a reader. The next page details how readers can participate in the continuing RFIMA City Reader Participation RPG. It explains how to create your character by assigning 15 ability points across 6 stats like intelligence and speed, choosing an age, gender, and occupation. Participants then select 3 actions from provided lists of locations and activities, with the order of actions being important. There's also a section for potential conversations with demons, answering 3 questions that can influence whether the demon becomes an ally. Nakama. Successfully making a demon an ally can earn you a special Nakama Hagaki, ally postcard, and this issue is announced as the final chance to obtain these cards. The page features an illustration of Jack Frost, alongside the description of earning ally postcards. The locations are categorized by areas like Kasagi Mountain and Central Area, while actions range from gathering information and investigating, to fighting or conversing with demons, and even performing demon fusion in them. The results of this round, and the next installment of Okama City, will be published in the April 19th issue. This page showcases a manga adaptation of a reader-submitted game concept titled, Yes! Tsumekami Ace, translated loosely as, Yes! Nail-biting ace. This baseball game idea features unique and comical magic pitches, such as the biting magic pitch, where the ball appears to literally bite the batter. The comic strip depicts a tense moment in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs, highlighting the dramatic potential of the game. Humor is injected with characters reacting dramatically, even attempting to use the Dragon Quest spell Ionazun, which proves ineffective in this context, adding to the absurdity. The feature is part of a series where readers propose game ideas for the artist Shiriagari Kotobuki to transform into manga. The page concludes with a call for readers to participate by sending in their postcards with game submissions. This page continues the series, where artist Shiriagari Kotobuki adapts reader-submitted game ideas into manga. This installment features a humorous baseball game concept filled with bizarre special moves and items. The manga depicts a tense game where players utilize unique abilities like the Resurrection Bat, which recovers the count with each swing. Several magic pitches are highlighted, including the umpire magic pitch that transforms the ball into an umpire to call anything a strike, the housework magic pitch, which does chores but breaks objects, and the reverse throw magic pitch, which throws the pitcher instead of the ball. The comic strip shows characters reacting dramatically to these strange events, even attempting desperate measures, culminating in one character seemingly rage-quitting by cutting the power. The page invites readers to submit their own game ideas. This page shows a cutout postcard designed for reader submissions and prize requests related to the Famimaga 64 magazine features. It is divided into 2 sections by a dashed line, each requiring a 50 yen stamp. The left section is a submission form directed to the 64 Rokuyon editorial department at Takarajima Corporation for the Reader Participation RPG Daruma Toshi 5th round. It asks for the reader's address, name, school year or occupation, telephone number, age, gender, and pen name. The deadline for this submission is March 29th, valid by postmark. The right section is a prize request form addressed to the same editorial department. It requires the reader's postal code, address, name, with furigana, desired prize number and name, date of birth, age, gender, males female, and telephone number. There is also a box to write a message to the editorial department. The deadline for prize requests is April 5th. This page presents a reader questionnaire postcard for the April issue, designed for readers to submit their feedback and participation. It asks for opinions on the magazine's articles, other magazines they read, which game consoles they currently own, and which they hope to purchase by spring break. The survey also inquires about where readers buy their games, and the magazine itself, and their thoughts on the Nintendo 64 and used game shops. There are dedicated sections where readers can write in the names of specific games they wish to see released on the 64, games they want featured in the magazine, games they found particularly enjoyable, and games they are planning to buy, specifying the console for each. Additionally, the right side ties into the ongoing reader participation Tatsuma Toshi character sketch feature. Here, readers can detail their character by providing a name, assigning values to ability scores like strength, wisdom, magic power, stamina, and speed. They can also describe their character's actions in specific locations, and even write dialogue for an encounter with a demon. The form concludes by requesting basic demographic information, such as age, gender, and occupation. This page features a reader survey postcard titled, Big Present Reader Survey. This is where readers are encouraged to provide feedback and answer questions about their gaming habits and preferences. The survey asks about the game consoles they currently own and those they intend to purchase by spring break. It also inquires about where they buy new games, how they use used game shops, and how they discovered the magazine. Readers are asked for their opinions on the upcoming Nintendo 64, specific software titles they want to see released on the N64, and the 3-game software titles they want to acquire from those already available. Furthermore, the survey prompts readers to list up to 5 game titles, excluding PC, they want featured in the magazine, list games they have played and found particularly interesting, excluding PC, and list the 3 games, excluding PC, they are currently considering buying. Instructions are provided on how to fill out the postcard with answers to the questions, demographic information, and any additional comments or requests. The deadline for submitting the postcard is April 5th, Friday, with results to be announced in the May 17th issue. The next issue, 4/19 issue, was released on April 5th. This survey is specifically from the 1996 April 5th Volume 7 issue of the magazine. This page announces the winners for the 7th Big Present campaign, celebrating the publication's anniversary, referencing the February 23rd issue, likely related to when the campaign ran. Prizes include a massive 100 Nintendo 64 consoles, along with copies of games like Super Robot Wars, F and Namco Museum Volume 2 for PlayStation, Guardian Heroes, Sega Rally Championship, and Street Fighter Alpha for Sega Saturn, and Far East of Eden Zero for Super Famicom. Smaller prizes like a Wizard's Harmony mousepad and King's Field 2 iCalendar were also awarded. The side text teases more campaigns are coming, with the next winner announcement scheduled for the March 8th issue. This page is a full-page advertisement for SoftMap, detailing the benefits of their membership card for buying and selling games, offering points and discounts, listing store locations, and promoting a point giveaway campaign. This page is a full-page advertisement showcasing various music-related books published by Takaraji Masha, featuring artists like Jimi Hendrix, Prince, Bob Marley, and The Boom, available for purchase. This page is an advertisement for the Dial Fun Club, a voice-based network connecting computer game fans. Users can call in and access various discussion boxes by dialing a 3-digit code after connecting via the main number, 099-054-1333. The service offers numerous public forums, acting as message boards for various topics. These include seeking gaming friends, discussing game purchases and sales, recommending favorite games, debating beloved characters, asking for and providing gameplay help and secrets, and requesting new discussion topics. There are also dedicated boxes for specific platforms like the PC Engine and general gaming topics like arcades. A significant portion of the service is dedicated to individual game titles, listed with corresponding 3-digit access codes. The list covers a wide array of games across genres like RPGs, fighting games, simulation, puzzle, and action, featuring titles like Final Fantasy, Street Fighter, Tokimeki Memorial, and many more, allowing fans to connect and discuss specific games. Additionally, a private box service is available at 099-0537-2111, enabling users to send private messages to specific individuals while maintaining privacy. General line membership is available for 3,000 yen for 60 minutes. This page features a section on the Fantasy Science Reader, a book that humorously applies scientific principles to fictional scenarios like, what would happen if Godzilla were born, or the physics behind flying characters. questioning the practicality of such concepts, with diagrams illustrating things like the shockwave from flying at Mach 7. The page also heavily promotes a Sega-supervised Akira Complete Database Volume 5, likely a guide or databook focused on Virtua Fighter 2, highlighting a permanent preservation edition, detailing 59 special moves for the character Akira Yuki. A screenshot shows Akira battling another character from the game. There's an in-depth feature revealing opening CG for games such as Panzer, Dragoon Zwei, and Dragon Force, alongside mentions of the King of Fighters 95 arriving on the Sega Saturn, a masterpiece Air's Adventure, and the highly anticipated Cybertroopers Virtualon with its powerful CG. Finally, there's a giveaway offering a chance to win one of 100 Sega Saturn modems, and a list of 7 playable trial versions included, featuring titles like Dark Savior, Dark Stalkers, Vampire Hunter, Albert Odyssey Gaiden, and Lode Runner Legend Returns. This page presents a detailed release schedule for upcoming software titles across Nintendo 64, Super Famicom, and PlayStation platforms, listing games by month along with their publishers and prices. This page continues the comprehensive software release schedule, detailing upcoming games for PlayStation and Sega Saturn, spanning from late 1995 through 1996, including publisher and price information. A new software release schedule details upcoming games for various platforms, including PCFX, Mega Drive, Virtual Boy, Game Boy, Game Gear, Neo Geo, 3DO, PC Engine, and arcade systems. PCFX releases are planned for March, April, and May 1996, with notable titles like Galaxy Fraulein Una, FX. The Neo Geo schedule highlights March and 1996 releases, including Art of Fighting Ryuko no Ken Gaiden. Other platforms have similarly short lists for March 1996 releases, including Mega Drive's Marchen Adventure Ein, Virtual Boy's Virtual Pro Yaku 96, and Game Boy/Gear titles. The 3DO section showcases March releases like Debut Page URE and V-Goal Soccer 96, along with several 1996 and undecided titles. The PC Engine and arcade sections also preview March and 1996 releases, featuring titles from various companies. The document provides a comprehensive overview of early to mid-1996 video game releases across multiple platforms. This page presents a special feature focusing on highly anticipated rumored new games for various consoles. The section highlights upcoming titles for the Super Famicom, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn. 50 featured Super Famicom games include the tactical RPG masterpiece Fire Emblem, Genealogy of the Holy War, the unique horror RPG Dark Half, the second installment of the popular RPG series Mahujin Guru Guru 2, the action game Subapon DX, and the sequel to the monster-raising RPG Daikaiju Monogatari 2. For the PlayStation, the page lists the Western-themed RPG Wild Arms, the strategy simulation Pandora Project, the horror-adventure game Gaku de Ata Kawaii Hanashi S, Schoolhouse Horror Story S, and the racing game Choro Q. The Sega Saturn is represented by the dark RPG Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, specifically the Akuma Zensho, Demon Compendium version. Screenshots showcase a mix of styles, from detailed pixel art battles typical of the era's RPGs and strategy games, to early 3D polygonal graphics seen in the PlayStation titles. The inclusion of a live-action photograph suggests different presentation styles for some of the games, particularly fitting for a horror adventure. This page offers a tantalizing glimpse into the diverse lineup of games players could look forward to across different platforms. This page is all about the highly anticipated Super Famicom title, Fire Emblem, Genealogy of the Holy War, as a simulation RPG from Nintendo, priced at 7,500 yen and planned for release on May 14th. This installment promised to continue the series' legacy of deep strategy and compelling stories. The feature highlights that the official subtitle has been decided, and the game is set on a new continent. A major new element is the introduction of skills, which adds significant depth to combat by allowing characters to perform special actions like evading attacks or attacking multiple times. The page lists several examples of these skills. Perhaps the most revolutionary aspect discussed is the two-part scenario structure, where characters in the first part can form relationships and have children who become the main characters in the second part, with inherited skills. This parent-child inheritance system means player pairing choices drastically affect the difficulty and strategic possibilities of the latter half of the game, adding immense replayability. Screenshots display battle sequences, a world map, and a town menu featuring services like repair shops and a fortune teller, the latter hinted at playing a role in the game's romance system. The reviewer seems particularly excited about how the new skill system and inheritance mechanic will enhance the strategic gameplay. This page provides a look at 11 key characters who will be prominent in the first half of Fire Emblem. Genealogy of the Holy War. The story is set in the Grand Valley Kingdom, a central power on the continent of Jugdral. The game begins with an invasion by the Verdane army. We are introduced to the protagonist of the first part, Sigurd, heir to the Chalfie house, a lord knight with the pursuit skill. His loyal retainers are also featured. Noish, a chivalrous horseman with critical hit and continue, and Alec, a social knight known for his conversation and surprising skill. Other allies include Midale, a bow knight loyal to Edain, and Arden, a slow but sturdy sword armor with the ambush skill. The page also introduces important figures like Edain, a lady from the Jungvi house and a stave user, and her sister Erenice, a troubadour from the Leinster kingdom with the critical hit skill, married to Quan. Azel, a kind mage from the Veltomer house with the pursuit skill, and Lex, a just axe knight from the Duzzle house with ambush and elite, join the ranks. Finally, Prince Quan of Leinster, Sigurd's best friend and a Duke Knight with continuous attack, and his loyal Lance Knight Finn with pursuit and prayer are presented. The Maker's Voice section briefly mentions the enjoyment of raising units and weapons within the game's system, suggesting other elements contribute to its addictive nature. Dark Half, a Super Famicom RPG from Enix, presents a unique dual perspective. Players experience the story through the eyes of both the hero, Falco, who explores and fights, and the demon lord, Luark, who rules and builds an army. Falco's journey is a traditional RPG, featuring exploration, NPC interactions, and combat. Luark's path is distinct, focusing on resource management, monster creation, and conquering. The contrasting gameplay styles, from exploration to domination, are key selling points of the game. This page delves deeper into the core mechanics and the early story of Dark Half, highlighting the two main systems, Soul Power and Facia. Soul Power acts as an energy resource separate from HP, consumed by actions like moving and using magic, and replenished by defeating enemies or absorbing from others, as the Demon Lord. Facia is a resource exclusive to the hero, used primarily for crafting items and equipment, typically found in treasure chests. The page features screenshots showing these systems in action, including soul power consumption while moving and recovery during battle, as well as obtaining fascia from a chest and using it to craft items. It also introduces the Demon Lord Luark's early story, focusing on his awakening and quest for revenge, and details his unique combat style centered around powerful magic and commanding monster allies obtained through the Dark Gate ability. This contrasts sharply with the hero's gameplay. Finally, the Maker's Voice from Enix suggests the game offers a fresh experience, recommending it to players looking for an RPG that breaks away from traditional formulas. A large illustration of the Demon Lord Luark is also prominently featured. This page introduces Magical Circle Guru Guru 2 for the Super Famicom. It's an RPG from Enix, scheduled for release on April 12th for 8,000 yen. While the previous game was labeled a Trap Ping RPG, this sequel is described as a standard RPG that fully embraces the series' signature gags and parody humor. The story focuses on the Demon King Giri possessing Juju's body and demanding the god's bracelets, adapting the original story based on fan requests. A significant evolution is the Mahusian Active Battle 2 system. Battles now occur in real time directly on the map screen, creating a more intense experience. The hero, Nike, is controlled by AI, fighting automatically, while the player controls the mage, Kukuri, moving her around the battlefield to provide support with magic and items. This dynamic encourages strategic positioning and cooperative play between the AI hero and the player-controlled mage. Screenshots illustrate the real-time combat and the AI hero in action. The page also highlights key characters like the main duo, Nike and Kukuri, alongside the boss Demon King Giri and his minions. The Maker's Voice notes that production was challenging, partly because the anime ended mid-development, but they are happy to have completed the game. Supapon DX for the Super Famicom is a block-breaking game with puzzle and action elements. It features 3 modes: a story mode, a versus mode, and a practice mode. Basic controls involve moving a paddle to bounce a ball. Breaking blocks reveals power-ups and power-downs, including items like extra paddles, and items that increase power or clear blocks. Cute characters like Papu, Roly, and Jamashi, along with various enemies, are highlighted. The game's creators, hoping for popularity, mention initial plans to release it in arcades. Screenshots showcase gameplay in story and versus modes. This page features information about the upcoming Super Famicom RPG, Daikaiju Monogatari 2, Giant Monster Story 2. Hudson's highly anticipated title is highlighted, promising even more content than its predecessor. The article emphasizes the return and improvement of the unique Fukidashi system, bubble system, where character dialogue and events are displayed in speech bubbles, making conversations feel more like a play. The system now includes animations within the bubbles, and is designed for better synchronization with the dialogue, enhancing the experience. The battle system is also discussed, noting that in addition to the main character's special attacks, enemy characters have their own unique and often humorous special moves. Screenshots show examples of these attacks, like an enemy turning characters into pigs, Buta Ninare, or attacking with playing cards. The page also introduces some of the characters who will aid the protagonist, including the reliable Busuketo group and the Kusuketo group, featuring the Yuro, Uru, and Yura family, who sell items. Character art is shown for several individuals, such as Manbu, Andre, Wookie, and Jirama. A Maker's Voice section includes a humorous comment about the Buta Ninare attack. This page dives into the PlayStation RPG Wild Arms, highlighted as this summer's top pick. The article focuses on the game's innovative use of full polygon graphics for battle scenes, creating an immersive and exciting experience. It utilizes a motion view system, MVS, with dynamic camera angles and command-based turns. Beyond the fresh battle system, Wild Arms is praised for its engaging scenario and classic RPG style, while also incorporating challenging puzzle elements. Players will need to use various actions like picking up or pushing objects to solve environmental puzzles and progress, adding a layer of strategic thinking to the adventure. The page features screenshots showcasing the polygon battles, detailed event scenes, and examples of the environmental puzzles. The developer's comment expresses excitement for the game and encourages everyone to play it soon. This page introduces Pandora Project: The Logic Master, a simulation game for the PlayStation, where players delve into tactical robot combat through programming. The game's premise involves a competition to find skilled individuals capable of programming unmanned combat robots, known as LMS, to counter threats posed by rogue units. Players aim to become the Logic Master by designing and executing strategic programs for their robots. The gameplay centers around a logic-making interface where players create routines for their units. The game is designed to be approachable even for beginners, featuring a training mode and helpful explanations. You manage various robot units, customizing them with different weapons and adjusting their appearance. Understanding your unit's stats and capabilities is crucial for success in battle, as is knowing how to effectively program them for different scenarios. The page shows screenshots of the programming interface, unit customization screens, and different robot models, highlighting the depth of strategic options available. It emphasizes that mastering the logic and understanding unit stats is key to victory. This page dives deeper into Pandora Project: The Logic Master, specifically detailing how to create the crucial logic routines for your units. It explains that logic is built using icon palettes, arranging commands like building blocks. The system is broken down into 3 main parts: data check, where you confirm unit and enemy data; comparison processing, which compares data to make decisions; and action, where the unit performs tasks based on the data and comparisons. A flowchart illustrates a basic shooting logic, showing steps like checking unit position, enemy direction, and distance, then firing, if within range. The magazine strongly emphasizes the importance of rigorous debugging before sending units into combat, stressing that a faulty logic means a useless unit. It then moves into the practical aspect of battle, where players can participate in local ranking matches and the intriguing unit exchange system, allowing you to acquire units from defeated opponents. The developer notes that there are 150 units in the game, expressing admiration for the designer's dedication. Ultimately, mastering logic and strategic programming is the path to becoming the logic master. This page showcases Gaku de Ata Kawaii Hanashi S, the chilling third installment in Banpresto's horror adventure series, heading to PlayStation. Set for a July release, this version elevates the classic school ghost story formula, with immersive live-action video and enhanced sound effects. Players step into the shoes of a student, tasked with gathering spooky tales for the school newspaper. The gameplay revolves around listening to stories from a group of 6 student narrators, and making critical choices that branch the narrative, with the unique ability to select your character's gender affecting the dialogue and available scenarios. The diverse cast of student storytellers, each possessing their own distinct style, are central to pulling you into a world of fear. Screenshots depict the game's use of live-action footage, highlighting the shift in presentation for this PS version. This page dives into the terrifying events awaiting players in Gaku de Ata Kawaii Hanashi's S, showcasing numerous astonishing paranormal phenomena. The game isn't just graphically improved, it uses shocking live-action video, morphing, and special effects during pivotal horror scenes. Featured elements include a grotesque alien whose face peels away and transforms, the tale of a girl who vanished in the mirror, and the unfortunate boy who sought her, a student expelling ectoplasm that forms a face, and disturbing images of transformed students. The maker's voice confirms the game has been upgraded with new scenarios, including branching storylines based on the protagonist's gender, promising enhanced visual and narrative impact through live-action footage and movies. This page features Koro Q for PlayStation, a popular pullback toy transformed into a proper 3D polygon racing game by its original creator, Takara. The game offers a variety of racing modes like Just Play and Aim for the Grand Prix, taking players across diverse environments including circuits, public roads, and off-road tracks. A key feature is the extensive car customization. Players can earn money from races to tune up their vehicles, altering parts, tires, and even body color to create a unique My Car. The game boasts a selection of over 20 different Koro Q models, including some rare types, allowing players to choose their favorite to race and upgrade. Screenshots show the tuning interface and the car selection screen, highlighting the visual variety and customization options. The page also includes a brief mention of a CM filming session for the game and a maker's voice comment about how addictive the game samples were within the industry. This page features a fascinating software release for the Sega Saturn. Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner, Akuma Zensho, essentially a devil compendium or dictionary. This isn't a traditional game, but rather a comprehensive database and CG gallery, showcasing the demons from the acclaimed Devil Summoner. The highlight is the extensive collection of beautiful, high-resolution CGs of the demons. It includes all 255 standard demons you could recruit, and 30 boss characters, all presented with enhanced graphics compared to the original game, even allowing for zooming and panning. Beyond just pretty pictures, it functions as a robust database. You can delve into each demon's profile, searching by abilities, fusion methods, origins, and historical or mythological backgrounds. The page shows examples of this, including detailed text descriptions and a world map pointing to origin locations. It's touted as an essential resource for any Megaten fan or anyone interested in the deep lore of these creatures. The graphics are noted as being significantly improved, specifically stating they were redrawn for the Saturn version and further enhanced for this software, making the demons look even more impressive. This software serves as both a visual showcase and a definitive guide to the demons that populate the Shin Megami Tensei universe. This page features a buyer's guide spotlight on the Super Famicom action game, Dormy Fantasy, Milan's Doki Doki Daibuken. Released in 1996, the reviewer highlights that this game was clearly created with children in mind, noting the lack of frustrating difficulty and the straightforward horizontal scrolling action gameplay centered around jumping. The game is praised for its simple design that aims to convey the pure fun of playing. The review also points out the intentionally helpful demo scenes at the beginning of each world, which provide ample hints to prevent players from getting stuck and ensure a stress-free experience for kids. The protagonist, Misalon, makes a comeback from the classic title, Misalon's Secret Castle. Screenshots demonstrate basic actions like jump attacks, stomping on enemies, using bubble attacks, and dashing, illustrating how easily anyone can pick up and play the game. The review notes the beautiful pastel graphics and Milan's design, suggesting he could become a signature character for Hudson. This page features a buyer's guide for Tekken 2 on the PlayStation. The game is described as bringing the earth-shattering battles of the Typhoon father and son, referring to Heihachi and Kazuya, back once again. The reviewer highlights the game's unique, soft fist gameplay, emphasizing weight transfer and body mechanics rather than just button combinations. While basic movement and attacks are simple, special moves require specific, logical inputs. Key features include elements from the arcade's version B, and an impressive original opening movie. The page also introduces the diverse character roster, showcasing screenshots and brief descriptions for fighters like Heihachi, Paul, Jun, Lei, and others. The system's depth is noted as suitable for both beginners and advanced players, allowing for enjoyment regardless of skill level. This page features buyer's guides for two different Sega Saturn titles. First up is Air Management 96 from Koei, a management simulation where you build and run an airline, connecting 22 cities worldwide and aiming for top profits. The reviewer notes its speed compared to the Super Famicom version and suggests it's more accessible for beginners, aligning it closer to the first game in the series while maintaining a good difficulty balance. Screenshots show various management screens and menus. There's also a section highlighting that playing with friends adds significantly to the fun. Below that is Lupin 2i, the Master File, a database title for the Sega Saturn. This comprehensive collection puts data from TV series 1 through 3, TV specials, OVAs, and movies, all onto one candela. It covers everything from story summaries and character profiles to weapon descriptions, famous scenes, and setting materials. Screenshots display character sketches, weapon lists, and menu options like Story Digest. The reviewer emphasizes its value for Lupin fans, and even points out its appeal to Ghibli fans, noting the inclusion of content related to Hayao Miyazaki's work on Castle of Cagliostro and a TV series finale. This page features buyer's guides for two Sega Saturn games. First up is Gusun Oyoyo S, a puzzle game where you must guide the characters Gusun and Oyo out of mazes. You do this by strategically placing blocks that fall from the top, crushing monsters, and avoiding hazards like rising water. The reviewer admits to shouting in frustration but finds satisfaction in crushing enemies, noting that continuations make the challenge manageable. They advise using bombs not to fix mistakes but to remove difficult existing blocks. The game also features a two-player co-op mode and a special mode with in-game commercials. Screenshots show the grid-based puzzle gameplay. Below that is Fishing Koshin, a fishing simulation based on the TV program, The Fishing. The game follows a story of high school friends competing in an 8-day national fishing competition. Success depends on friendship and effort. The gameplay involves choosing companions, fishing in different areas, and mastering techniques for various fish species. The reviewer highlights the importance of selecting teammates, and notes that female characters might struggle with larger catches due to lower strength. Screenshots display character selection, fishing scenes, and UN elements. This page features buyer's guides for two classic games. First up on the Sega Saturn is the Gradius Deluxe Pack, bringing the arcade hits Gradius and Gradius 2 to home console. The article discusses the thrilling gameplay of navigating through intense bullet barrages and the return of iconic elements like the option and the Big Viper ship. A strategy section emphasizes the importance of perseverance and practice, especially after losing a life, noting that mastering the game requires effort rather than relying on tricks. A screenshot shows the classic horizontal scrolling shooter action. Below, the PlayStation gets Resident Evil, originally titled Biohazard in Japan. This is described as a 3D survival horror adventure where players explore a large mansion, using weapons to fight off enemies while progressing. The article highlights the cinematic camera work and direction as key strengths. It delves into how the game evokes fear through atmosphere and anticipation, stating that humans experience terror through sensation alone. Screenshots display dark, tense environments and a scene featuring a large snake enemy, noting the importance of careful action and precise aiming. A short conversational segment also discusses the game, praising its atmosphere and horror aspects. This website features Urawaza, Hidden Techniques, for Sega Saturn and PlayStation games, presented by Hakase and Pon. Clockwork Knight on Sega Saturn gets two new tips: a stage select command and a method for massively increasing lives. Theme Park on PlayStation features a rip-off wealth-building strategy involving rapid land buying and selling. Finally, Darkstalker's Revenge, Vampire Hunter, on Sega Saturn reveals a command to unlock higher turbo speeds in the options menu. Readers are encouraged to submit their own tips, including the game title. This page continues the Urawaza hidden technique special feature, showcasing tips submitted by readers for various games across different consoles. The editor notes that this time, there's a good variety of titles. For Sega Saturn, Street Fighter Alpha features a tip to immediately challenge Akuma by inputting a command during the character selection screen in arcade mode. On PlayStation, Policenauts offers a useful trick for the shooting training range, allowing you to load 20 rounds instead of the usual 10, making practice easier. Railway King 96 has a hidden technique to bring up the net worth calculation screen during your turn, allowing you to quickly assess your situation and potentially escape trouble, though the accompanying comic strip humorously points out the AI character Hakase is frustratingly good. Dragon Quest VI, Realms of Revelation on the Super Famicom presents a tip for using the Devil's Axe weapon. When equipped, using the special move associated with it guarantees a critical hit. However, a note warns that this powerful move only allows one attack every 2 turns, making it best suited for boss fights or when facing few enemies. Finally, Battle Arena to Sinden 2 on PlayStation reveals simple commands to unlock hidden characters like Sho and Vermilion directly from the title screen. The timing of the input is key for these commands. The section concludes by encouraging readers to keep submitting their hidden techniques. This page dives into hidden techniques, specifically for Bahamut Lagoon on the Super Famicom, a tactical simulation RPG from Square. The main highlight is the Explay mode, unlocked after clearing the game. This mode allows players to start the game from Chapter 1 with their leveled-up characters and items from the cleared save data, essentially offering a new Game Plus experience where the goal is simply to clear the game again. This technique was submitted by Page N. Junsoku Madushi. Another interesting quirk in Explay mode is that the names of items are randomized each time you start. While the items themselves function as normal, their labels are completely different, adding a layer of confusion, or perhaps amusement. The page also reveals a peculiar feature related to dragons. Feeding them certain items can cause bizarre mutations. For example, giving them poisonous mushroom or failed cookie might lead to a strange, squirming dragon, illustrating the unpredictable nature of dragon development in the game. Finally, the Hakase and Pawns Research Lab section features the robot Hakase and Cat character pawn, discussing reader submissions. They are actively seeking hidden techniques for next-generation consoles and highlight the unique telephone cards and book vouchers awarded as prizes for accepted tips, ranked by their quality. This page kicks off a new Special Big Project series titled Let's Battle. It's described as a super irregular series, where Sega and the magazine's editorial department will face off in games, competing for status, honor, prestige, and prizes. The first battle centers around the Sega Saturn title, J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wotsukuru. Let's make a J-League Pro Soccer Club. The stakes are high. If the editorial department loses, they have to give up a corner page. If Sega loses, they lose priority rights to introduce a new game. The rules of the competition are laid out, emphasizing fair play using the retail game version, no cheats, no developer advice, and no hidden data. They will compete with 3 different clubs based on in-game time limits: 2 years, 3 years, and unlimited. The 2 competitors are introduced. Sega's representative, Honey Hanatani, known for his sharp gameplay and writing in other magazines, and the editorial department's representative, Drive Sasaki, known for his pursuit of ultimate and invincible strategies. Both share screenshots of their club's password screens, giving a glimpse into their progress. Hanatani's strategy involves hiring just 11 players for the limited clubs and aiming for famous J.League players in the unlimited 12-year club. Dr. Sasaki focuses on hiring good initial players and quickly upgrading to J.League players. Reader participation is planned for future rounds. This page reveals the results of the first match in the Let's Battle series. Sega delivered a crushing 0-7 defeat to the editorial department in J.League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru, securing the win. Sega's representative comments that their victory was due to skill, highlighting the importance of player compatibility and teamwork. The editorial department reacts with shock and demands a rematch, citing issues with the rules, the opponent's strength, and their own team's coordination problems. The page also announces a new serialized section, tentatively titled Saturn Guys, and previews future content, including reader participation events for PlayStation's Classic Road at the PlayStation Expo, and for the horse racing simulation Winning Post 2. The Sega Saturn title Victory Goal 96 is also briefly mentioned. This page introduces characters from the Super Famicom title, Treasure Hunter G from Square, set to release on May 24th. The game features numerous sub-characters encountered by the main party, led by Red. Two such characters highlighted are Mayo, found in the Tower of the Devil and important for explaining overparts, and Dr. Harlow, a mad scientist whose inventions frequently fail. The page also features a boss character, the Minotauros, described as a strong, unavoidable enemy encountered in an underground labyrinth, necessary to acquire overparts. This page continues showcasing Square's Super Famicom title, Treasure Hunter G, expanding on the world and characters introduced on the previous page. It highlights the various unique vehicles players will use throughout the adventure, building on the concept of Dr. Harlow's inventions. Featured are three distinct modes of transport. The Mogura machine, a drilling device for underground exploration, initially shown as a bit unreliable but ultimately essential. The Whale, which serves as the party's second vehicle for sea travel, and the Ironbird, the third vehicle encountered, designed for aerial navigation. These inventive conveyances are integral to the game's treasure hunting atmosphere and world design. The page also delves into the journey of the main party, led by Red. Drawing a brief comparison to Locke from Final Fantasy VI, another treasure hunter, it showcases several screenshots illustrating the party's adventures. These scenes depict exploration within dungeons and encounters with monsters, capturing the lively and sometimes challenging moments of their quest. The accompanying captions offer snippets of dialogue and action, providing insight into the characters' interactions and Red's personality, such as his reactions to battles and discoveries. A prominent character illustration of the protagonist, Red, is also featured. The next page continues the exploration of Square's Treasure Hunter Bog, focusing on Dr. Harlow's research lab. It highlights the various eccentric robot creations found inside, many of which are malfunctioning or causing chaos. You'll encounter problematic robots like the rampaging Frankenbear, the seemingly broken but interfering iron armors, the oddly cute Frankenrabbit, and the gatekeeping Technigyo. Battling these unique mechanical enemies is presented as an exciting part of exploring the lab. The page also introduces two important characters, Blue and Rain, who likely join Red's party. Blue is depicted as small but powerful, capable of an electric attack called Raby Thunder, while Rain is noted for her surprisingly proper speech, which is considered rare among the lab's inhabitants. The overall tone suggests the research lab is a place full of strange encounters and enjoyable battles with the Doctor's quirky creations. This page delves into the various dangerous and challenging paths adventurers face in Treasure Hunter Lag. It highlights that treasure hunting isn't just about finding riches, but navigating perilous locations. The page features 4 distinct danger spots that feel like minigames. First up is the Escape from Arato Cave, where the party must flee a collapsing cavern while dodging falling rocks, taking damage if hit. Next is Climbing the Cliff of Mount Abunoba, leading to the Tower of Majin. Here, you ascend a steep cliff face, again needing to avoid falling rocks, with rock shadows offering potential cover. It's a test of skill and daring to climb without knowing what awaits above. The third challenge is Climbing the Pyramid, home to the Pyramid Eye. The climb itself is tricky, and stepping on the wrong block will send you tumbling down. Finally, there's Crossing the Suspension Bridge. This precarious bridge looks ready to collapse, and indeed, failure means a swift fall. It's presented as a tense, thrilling dash across the fragile structure. Seemingly simple but not easy. These sections showcase the diverse obstacles Red and his party must overcome on their adventure. This page introduces Rudra no Hai-Hao, Treasure of Rudra, a new RPG from Square for the Super Famicom, released on April 5, 1996. The game is highlighted for its novel system and multi-layered scenario structure. The core concept revolves around 3 main protagonists, Xion, Cerulant, and Liza. Players can choose any of their scenarios to start with, and are free to progress through them as they wish, even switching between the stories with a zapping feel. These linked scenarios intertwine, offering different perspectives and creating a very deep and immersive narrative. The page also features a section showcasing companions who join Xion. These include Foxy, a competitive daughter from a wealthy family skilled with knives who provides backup; Duel, an earnest giant sorcerer rescued by Xion, proficient with large maces and spiritual attacks; and Ramires, a cheerful trickster from the legendary Danon race, highly skilled in spiritual arts. Screenshots show early scenes from Cerulant's and Xion's perspectives, including Foxy visiting Xion's house. The game promises a unique and engaging story experience through its innovative structure. This page details the transportation systems in Rudra no Hihao and introduces companions who join Saralant's quest. Players primarily move on foot, but the vast world requires other methods. Regular ships connect continent via port towns, while a small boat is used for more remote areas. The magazine hints at a later form of travel for places unreachable by ship or boat, showcasing an illustration and mention of the Arc Brasnil, likely an airship for intercontinental travel. Screenshots demonstrate walking, ship travel preparation, and using a small boat in a town's waterway. The page then introduces key early companions for Saralant. Sawark is a skilled swordsman and a friend who trained with Saralant under the sage Ron. Regin, the son of an item shop owner, is a knowledgeable and well-traveled individual who serves as a reliable navigator. He is also proficient with firearms. The setup for Saralant's scenario is revealed. He is asked to retrieve the Holy Grail for Dr. Munich, but it is stolen, leading him to embark on a journey with Sork and Regin, pulling him into Rudra's larger narrative. Screenshots show Sork and Regin joining Saralant's party early on. This page dives deep into the unique Kododama system in Rudra no Hihao, where players can create their own spells by inputting up to 6 characters. The editorial staff are showing off some original, effective Kododama they've discovered, suggesting players try them out upon starting the game. It highlights 5 elemental spells created by the editors. Wind, called Sideback. This spell costs 23 MP and unleashes a powerful gust hitting multiple enemies. It's strong against lightning enemies, but ineffective against wind types. Fire, named Hinoyujin, a single target spell costing 13 MP that sends a massive fire orb directly at one foe, dealing significant damage. It's highly effective against water enemies, but weak against fire. Lightning, known as Premoto, this 7 MP multi-target spell not only damages foes, but also has a chance to inflict paralysis, confusing enemies into attacking randomly. It works well against wind enemies, but not against lightning ones. Water, dubbed Brazilian, also costing 7 MP for multi-targets. It damages enemies with a chance to freeze them solid, preventing movement. Dispel. This spell is great against fire enemies, but ineffective against water types. Earth, simply called Jishin, earthquake. This 7 MP spell creates a shockwave across the ground, damaging all standing enemies. It's noted as ineffective against airborne foes. These staff-created spells offer useful options early on and demonstrate the potential of the Kododama system. This page continues the discussion of Rudra no Hihao, focusing on more unique Kododama spells that can be created. It highlights 5 different spells, starting with Jump, a non-elemental attack where the word itself deals damage, noted for its fun animation and reliable damage regardless of enemy element. Next is Dark Horse, a powerful dark spell effective against light enemies. Gozul is a remarkable recovery spell that sacrifices the caster to fully revive all incapacitated party members, a costly but potentially battle-saving ability. Jiko's Gift is a support spell from the character Jiko, boosting the physical defense of the entire party. Finally, Pixie is a strong light attack effective against dark enemies. The page concludes with an exciting announcement that the next issue, releasing alongside the game, will feature an extensive strategy guide covering the paths of all 3 protagonists, Cyan, Serlant, and Ryza, to help players get started right away, plus details on a special project related to the game. This page is the 3rd installment of a column diving into the mysteries of the Super Robot Wars series, focusing this time on Masu Kishin, the Lord of Elemental. The central theme is how weapons in this game evolve through power-ups, a system inherited from Super Robot Taisen X. As you upgrade your unit's weapons, their names, power, and even their animations can change dramatically. The page shows examples of these transformations, such as the Disc Cutter becoming the powerful Vanity Ripper after modification. Beyond just numbers, these changes bring new characteristics and visual flair to your attacks. The article also touches on the game's depth, highlighting character stats and providing insights to help players become more adept. Screenshots feature units like the Psybuster performing its Akashic Buster attack, and stat screens for units like Norm's Lay and Wyzol Kai, emphasizing the tactical elements. The reviewer notes that Masu Kishin proved unexpectedly addictive, especially the challenge of uncovering multiple endings. This page delves into the mysterious alien race known as the Guests within the Super Robot Wars series. Originating from the Kua Rengo, or Republican Union, these aliens initially came to Earth as observers, but later sought to conquer the galaxy, often leveraging the scientific genius of Shu Shirakawa and his creation, the Granzon. The page includes a lengthy list detailing significant events across multiple Super Robot Wars titles, highlighting key moments involving the guests, from initial encounters to major conflicts and character appearances. The article then specifically covers the guest activities in Super Robot Wars 3 and Super Robot Wars 4. In SRW 3, the focus is on the Wendolo faction, led by the cunning and cruel Wendolo, who used advanced technology for invasion but were ultimately thwarted by the Earth Federation's Lambendo Bell Force. SRW 4 features Xenon leading a more direct invasion by the main Kyowa Rengo, aiming for human subjugation, only to face defeat once again by Londo Bell. A Alien Catalog section profiles several prominent guest characters from both SRW3 and SRW4, including Wendolo, his brother Makibos, who surprisingly aids Londo Bell, the logistical expert Agiha, the frontline commander Vigaji, the strategist Xenon, the tragic mercenary leader Glorifus, and his former fiancée Justice. The page also notes the intriguing and complex relationships between these characters, particularly the rivalry between Wendolo and Makibos, and the unlikely friendship formed between Makibos and Banjo Haran, which players can experience in SRW3. This page features an Ogre Battle Corner, specifically certified by Quest, the developers of the tactical RPG series. The main focus is on the Hawkman unit type from the game, particularly a generic Hawkman named Straykar. The article discusses the Hawkman's strong point, their incredible mobility, allowing them to ignore terrain and easily overtake ground units. However, the reviewer notes that despite this ability, their role often feels like that of a simple courier or errand runner for item delivery, rather than being the frontline fighters they wish to be, especially when compared to famous Hawkmen like Canopus. The page includes a character profile box for Straykar, detailing his stats, class, background as a delivery person, archery skill, and experience in battle. There are also illustrations showing ogre battle characters gathered in a snowy landscape, a chibi character next to a motorcycle, and an illustration for the fan mail section. The piece muses on why Hawkmen like Canopus seem so resilient to cold weather, suggesting it might be a characteristic of the Balta race, or perhaps just unique to Canopus. It also briefly mentions the Raven race in Valeria, with black wings, and wonders if they too are resistant to the cold. This page features the 7th entry in the Ogre Battle Saga series corner, titled Ancient City of Lime Lovers of the Capital. It tells the tragic story of Sistina and Folkert, and their time spent together in the city of Lime. The article describes Lime as an ancient city built centuries ago, once a popular spot for young lovers, but transformed by conflict into a place for ambushes. The narrative recounts Sistina, the daughter of a high priest, and Folkert, a top student, meeting and falling in love in Lime, detailing their time together before political power struggles, particularly with Regent Brant, led to Sistina's family's exile. The piece follows their separation and subsequent events, highlighting the personal toll of the Valeria conflict. A character profile box for Sistina provides details on her age, 19, her affiliation with the Valeria Liberation Front, and her Bakram race, explaining her past and her ongoing fight for peace alongside her sister Cherie. The page includes illustrations of the city of Lime and a full-body portrait of Sistina in her iconic yellow outfit. This page features NeoSoft 100, celebrating a wave of new software releases. The headline notes the increasing presence of 32-bit machine software, acknowledging the growing library for consoles like the FX and the upcoming N64 and M2, which could make choosing a system difficult. 2 Super Famicom titles are highlighted, both listed as 100% developed. The first is Table Game Great Collection, a compilation featuring shogi, mahjong, hanafuda, and card games, with features like local rule support and animated characters. The second is an action game based on Disney and Pixar's Toy Story, distributed by Capcom. The article praises its graphics, stating they rival the movie, and mentions the game follows the film's story, featuring Woody and Buzz Lightyear across action and 3D maze stages. This page continues the new Soft 100 feature, showcasing a variety of upcoming titles across different platforms. On the Super Famicom, we see Nishijin Pachinko Monogatari 2, a simulation based on popular pachinko machines with enhanced realism. There's also Oh My Goddess, tentative title, adapting the popular manga into a board game where familiar characters compete in a school festival setting. Finally, The RPG Horai Gakuen no Buken is highlighted, offering a grand adventure within a massive school environment with strategic turn-based combat and character development tied to relationships. For Game Boy, Renju Club Gomoku Narabe provides a straightforward but solid 5-in-a-row game with adjustable difficulty, perfect for quick matches on the go. Focusing on PlayStation, the page highlights the console itself, alongside two interesting simulations. City Bravo is a city-building game where players develop a town efficiently to meet specific goals, featuring a wide array of building types and tools for map creation. Potestas, a political simulation game named after the Latin word for power, puts you in charge of a political party aiming to pass laws, engage in diplomacy, and manage a nation. The game includes elements like election tracking and news reports reflecting the state of your country. This page showcases several upcoming PlayStation titles. First up is the tentative Toaplan STG Collection Volume 1, bringing arcade vertical shooters Tiger Heli and Twin Cobra to the console, with added options for screen display and difficulty. It's currently 40% complete. Next, at 95% complete, is Lone Soldier, known internationally as Loaded. This is a 3D action shooter featuring polygon graphics, diverse environments, and a wide array of weapons, praised for its high quality as an international release. At 60% development is Clockwork, a puzzle game from the creator of Tetris. Players navigate dots through stages, avoiding obstacles like clock hands, with bosses appearing periodically. The Namco Museum Volume 3 collection is 65% complete, offering arcade hits like Pac-Man, Tower of Druaga, Dig Dug, Galaxian, and Phozon, faithfully ported with options for screen orientation. Finally, the racing game Shutoku Battle, or Tokyo Highway Challenge, is 100% complete. It delivers a realistic driving experience on the Tokyo highways, with licensed Japanese cars and extensive tuning options. PlayStation is releasing several upcoming games. Jumping Flash 2, a sequel to a first-person 3D platformer, features improved mechanics and diverse environments. Warhawk is a 3D shooter where players pilot a mech to defend Earth. Creature Shock offers a dark, atmospheric spaceship shooter. Wedding Peach. Doki Doki Oirona Oshi is a simulation game based on an anime, focusing on fashion and character choices. Finally, Extreme Power puts players in control of a mobile weapon to battle a rebellious army in a sci-fi setting, emphasizing strategic combat and mech upgrades. The next page previews 4 upcoming PlayStation games. First up is Tetris X, a new take on the classic puzzle game featuring the original creator, Alexei Pajitnov. It offers a traditional classic mode to challenge your skills, and a battle mode for up to 4 players to compete. The page includes screenshots showing the familiar Tetris gameplay and menus. Next is Melty Lancer, Galactic Police Girl 2086, a simulation game set in the future where you train young women to become space police officers to protect Earth. Developed by staff from the popular Graduation series, the game involves managing their schedule and handling missions. Screenshots display character portraits and the game's interface. Then there's Qin, a unique side-scrolling shooter from Media Entertainment, where characters pilot vacuum cleaners to battle enemies. The game features a fairy tale world setting and highlights its charming characters and voice casts. Screenshots show the distinct visual style and gameplay action. Finally, The Open Golf. History of Turnberry is a 3D golf simulation focusing on the historic Turnberry course and its famous events. The game includes modes like match play and touch play, offering realistic golf action with course commentary and aerial views. Screenshots showcase the polygonal graphics of the golf course and player swings. Sega Saturn is getting a slate of new games. Horror Tour, a 100% complete adventure game, releases March 29th, immersing players in a magical castle to defeat a demon king. Also out March 29th, Mahjong Dokusei Special is a complete adult mahjong game with 6 female characters. Media Romancer, a Daisuke Asakura database with minigames, is available now. Metal Black, a shooting game at 90% completion, aims for late May release, offering 3D sections and max vs. max boss battles. Finally, Johnny Bazooka, a 90% complete action game with rock-themed music, is due April 26th, pitting a guitarist against a villain. This page continues showcasing upcoming Sega Saturn titles. First up is a follow-up on Mahjong Hyper Reaction R, now 100% complete. This arcade-style mahjong game features 3-player support And interestingly, the outfits of the girls change based on your score, with lower scores apparently leading to more revealing scenes. Next is the new entry Pinball Graffiti, 70% complete. This pinball game boasts 6 camera angles and a unique story mode centered around a basketball player trying to achieve success through pinball. Below that, we see Shanghai Great Moments, a new puzzle game at 60% completion, featuring the classic tile-matching gameplay, but with different tile sets like mahjong, art, and space. Adjacent is another new game, Say If, an adventure RPG 50% complete and recommended for ages 18 and up. It's a port of the PC Engine version, enhanced for the Saturn with high-resolution graphics and increased realism. Finally, we have 2 more titles. Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Slam Jam 96, a new 5-on-5 basketball game developed in America and 100% complete, promises realistic action with these legendary players, featuring big character models and a mystery monster team alongside the standard 27 teams. Lastly, a follow-up report on the arcade shooting hit Donpachi, now 90% complete for the Saturn, includes modes like Score Attack and Option Mode, letting players choose from 3 different ships and emphasizing strategic bombing in tough situations. Upcoming Sega Saturn releases include Kyo Flying Squadron, 280% side-scrolling action, Mahjong Tenshi, Angel Lips, 100% Mahjong port, Sonic Wings Special, 80% fast-paced shooting game with CG movies, Jewel of the Oracle, 2i, Langrisser 2i, 50%, simulation RPG with flexible class change, Great Adventure, St. Elmo's Miracle, 45%, simulation RPG with 3D ship movement, and Gameware, multimedia. The next page features previews for upcoming games on the PCFX and PC Engine platforms. First up for PCFX is Blue Chicago Blues, an adventure game already 100% developed and releasing on March 22nd. This title is part of the well-received J.B. Harold Detective series, known for its live-action visuals using real actors and locations. This entry is set in Chicago, offering a realistic, investigative experience. Next is Farland Story FX, a simulation RPG from the popular PC and Super Famicom series, currently 60% complete and due in summer. The PCFX version promises exclusive anime cutscenes, enhancing the storytelling alongside the tactical battles. Also for PCFX, Boundary Gate, Daughter of Kingdom is an RPG boasting 90% development completion for its May release. The preview highlights its ambitious goal of exceeding movie-like realism in its presentation, featuring staff known for their work outside traditional game development, focusing on world building and direction. Screenshots show a unique low-angle viewpoint during gameplay. Finally, the page covers Steam Hearts for the PC Engine, a shooting game hitting 100% completion for its March 22nd launch. This vertical scrolling shooter is a port from an 18-plus PC title, featuring character designs by Takaki Kishimura, and including conversations between characters during gameplay. This page previews upcoming PCFX and arcade games under the new Soft 1000 banner, focusing on Etc. Hard Game Soft. Miraculum: The Last Revelation, a PCFX RPG from NEC Home Electronics, is due March 29th, and features responsive controls, a timing gauge, and weather effects. Ryusei Kisara Star, a mahjong game from Jaleco, arrives early March with over 1,000 animation frames and multiple endings. Dragon Knight 4, a PCFX simulation SLG, is slated for May and targets mature audiences. Capcom's Star Gladiator, a polygon fighting game, boasts 3D combat and character-specific moves. Finally, Jaleco's Super GT 24 Hours, a 4-player racer, includes realistic driving mechanics and dynamic scenery changes. This page features the magazine's title, 64, a bi-weekly game magazine, announcing the next issue, April 19th, will be released on April 5th for 390 yen. The main headlines promise new information on 64 and a complete guide to Derby Stallion 96. There's also a section advertising for experienced editors and writers to join the team. The bottom half is a new release calendar, covering upcoming games for various platforms like Super Famicom, Game Boy, Virtual Boy, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Mega Drive, Game Gear, 3DO, PCFX, PC Engine, Neo Geo and Neo Geo CD, scheduled from March 22nd to April 5th. This calendar lists numerous games with their platforms, publishers, and prices, providing a comprehensive look at the upcoming releases across the gaming landscape of the time. This page features a full-page advertisement for the Taito X55 home communications karaoke system. It offers access to 10,000 songs starting from 30 yen each, priced at 64,800 yen. It also announces the launch of TV game services on December 24th, featuring games like Space Invaders 1995 and Cleopatra Fortune. This page features a recruitment advertisement from Nintendo, seeking staff to form a super game team for the second Mario RPG game. They are looking for passionate and talented individuals with real-world experience in game development. The positions open are programmer, designer per centigram designer, director/planner, and sound designer/composer. Applicants are asked to showcase their relevant skills and submit work samples by the deadline of May 15, 1996. The application should be sent to Nintendo's headquarters in Kyoto. They emphasize that they are looking for unknown talent, even if they lack experience. But the key is passion and persistence.